You always just gotta tackle them like defenders.
I think like.
And we're live, people. Deluded, I'm back again. Miles Lewis-Skelly has officially been confirmed as signing new contract. We've been linked with a young Brazilian midfielder. You'd have seen in the last 24 hours, Christian Nørgaard of Brentford, soon to be of Arsenal, is moving in the right direction. Kepa's move is about to be confirmed. And we've been relinked with Kudus, and we all know the backdrop of all the rumours and everything else that's concerning us. Smash the like button. Make sure you're doing that. Big up you lot on Twitch. 3 bits of live content from myself. I'm going to get Catch and Just D or Fams on TV. Make sure you're following the catch up, by the way. That's at 4 p.m. 9 p.m. Again, assuming everybody makes it happen, we're gonna have another panel show. I like them because I love, really and truly, I love hearing you lot's opinions, so get them in and all of that. And I love hearing other people's. Of course, you know, I give my opinion and whatnot, but it's boring, people. So yeah, content. Friday, a bag of things to come out with. Monday, I don't want to talk nothing into existence, but I should have a decent little collab for you lot, and we're working in between, man. So yeah, big up everybody tuned in. Smash the like button. We're live 2-3, man. My guy, we're live. I'm here. I know I premiere a lot of videos and whatnot. That's only because apparently it helps the algorithm. I'm here. Gally, I'm defo here. The haircut's expiring slightly, but yeah, handsome YouTuber. I am. CS, come on, my guy. Come on, Valera. I can never pronounce your name, but appreciate you, man. Hello, everyone. Hope you're having a great week. Smash the likes, folks, on that as well. Hope you're having a great day, great week, great year, and I hope it gets better and better. AG, come on, because you're here all the time. Big up you, because there was, I don't know why Edu was in the description, or it was a stream yesterday you saved, man. But yeah, Karma, one love. Big up my mods, man. So yeah, how we doing, everyone? How we doing? And my members as well in particular. Make sure you're pre in your YouTube community tab, because at some point I'm going to ask you for some Q&A questions. We need to start. Obviously, I'm not going to lie. Being a YouTuber, you got to think tactically. It's the transfer news, right? So we're milking that, but we got to remember it's not just transfer news. We're gonna try and deviate away from that kind of content. Don't know Dante, man. Appreciate you. Nice name, by the way. Big up yourself. So yeah, man. Make sure. So yeah, man. You lot, I need energy, and I'm thirsty now as well, but. And I would say as well, it's nice. While none of these things have been confirmed, it seems like Zubamendi's, whether I rate these players or not, Zubamendi and Nørgaard moving forward, Kepa, backup keeper. I need to see a striker as we're going into preseason. Even Partey, you know, what's going on there? I don't think Partey is staying, but he's technically training with Arsenal. Is the reality where you've got Nørgaard, Thomas Partey, assuming he buckles on his demands, but yeah, Zubamendi, Nørgaard, Partey, Rice, Mikel Merino, you get where I'm going with it, innit? And you do have the options. I know you don't want to hear it, of Kai Havertz in midfield. We'd love to see Miles Lewis-Skelly in midfield, and things of that ilk, man. Who knows? Partey might play right back. I don't know, man. He's still training. I mean, he's in Spain at this moment in time, probably because technically you're still contracted to Arsenal. Even if you're not going to be at Arsenal, why would you not engage in some level of training so that you move on? I don't know if social media is to be believed, and I didn't see it from a credible source, people. But actually, he's been linked with Liverpool, which would be a good move for him. I don't think you're going to get the wages you're seeking. I want to ask you a lot of question, yeah? In hindsight now, Zubamendi appears the Partey replacement, right? Nørgaard is going to be the Jorginho replacement in terms of squad role. Zubamendi and Partey, or Zubamendi and Partey, or Nørgaard and Partey. So that's the two options. Which is the better options in midfield to have across the squad? Big up to the show and every Gunners fan. Come on, whether you support Arsenal or not, big up you lot, man. I know we have a laugh and a joke. We support Arsenal, but we're fans of the game, man. I doubt. Big up CeeLo. I doubt Partey staying. Think fans got excited because he recently posted with Gabriel and Saliba. It comes down to the bread. You know, the only way he's going to stay is if, you know, this game of chicken where Arsenal have said, you're not getting no more peas, and you're not getting no more peas. And he said, you know what, I want more peas. Maybe he said, you know what, actually, my family's comfortable. I like Arsenal. I want to stay. Unless there's that, I can't see it. As I said yesterday, I don't begrudge Partey. I know people get excited, money grabber. Remember, this is a job. He's 32, 31, 32. Obviously, the reason Partey is probably in this mess is because he has typically throughout this time at Arsenal, he's been injured for all his quality. If that wasn't the case, remember he joined in 2020, it's now 2025. Am I wrong for thinking you might have signed improved terms? Clearly, what we've seen with Partey this season and in general with Partey has been the question. I personally think the last couple of years, he's been one that's in the Gabriel Jesus category, where the club are not actively trying to force you out and they recognize your quality, but they are open to fielding offers. And it's that age-old thing in that there's only, of the 5 years Partey's been here, what? Really and truly, he's only been ever present and fit for 2 years. The first year we fought for the title, 2022-23, and obviously the one we've seen. You could forgive fans for thinking it's a no-brainer to keep Partey, but what if he reverts back to type? I'm not saying Partey's like this, but you know your contract's running out. You know them kind of things. So you want to prove your fitness, you want to play well. Beyond the obvious, you've got a reason to show your quality in the season that's just played out. What if there's an element of complacency where you know at 32 I'm on big wages, I'm kind of comfy? And then you do have to ask the question in terms of like for like quality, which big up Nørgaard, evidently you're nowhere near Partey. Is it cheaper to keep Partey, give him an uplift on his wages or freeze his wages? Is that expensive or is that cheaper than spending 40, 50, 60 million on a direct replacement? I don't know, people, but it is what it is. There's a lot of unanswered questions. At this moment in time, there's no upgrades for the striker and left wing position. There is question marks in midfield. You're betting a lot on Zubimendi. As much as I believe in him, I'm quite bullish. He's got to adapt to the league and all of those kind of things. And it will be an element of a culture shock. Nørgaard, Premier League experience, all of that kind of stuff. But you get the point. Arsenal are targeting Christian Mosquera as their ideal defensive choice this summer. Where did you see that? And that's something we've seen already this season. He's actually, well, he was at the under-21s Euros Championship where he did quite well. It would make sense. I personally think we need defensive reinforcements. Big up yourself, A, for saying that. Again, another unanswered question. I've typed in his name. The Valencia lad's actually been, his name's been linked with Leipzig. He's been linked with Liverpool. He's been linked with Inter Milan. So he's clearly someone that's got admirers and clearly shunned at the under-21s championship, a bit like Jarrell Hatto to a degree. Where did you see it? Hand of Arsenal. Okay, my guy. So now there's smash the like button mods. Let's make sure we're getting on that. So now there might be some credibility. And to be fair, whether it happens or not, it's nice to just see Arsenal linked with some new names, man. Like, how much times are we going to talk about Gyokeres and this and that? And, you know, dependent on the day and the journalist and all of those kind of things, it's a different kind of, 1 minute Gyokeres is the key target, then it's this one, then it's that one. I think Rice, Skelly, Nørgaard and Zubimendi is good enough for the 6. That's another point. You know, Nørgaard, I hear it. You know, in terms of being a 6, we've replaced that. I personally felt or started to believe if Partey cuts, is there capacity to get an 8? Because who's the 8 in our team? Like, yeah, there's players that can play in that role. Probably you've got Declan Rice, Mikel Merino, and then probably Kai Havertz. I don't know if we're going to see Lewis Skelly in midfield too much next season because you do have Nørgaard now, you do have Zubimendi, you do have Rice, but just earn your chops in it, man. It was known Partey would join the Spain training camp regardless of his contract situation. That's probably where you have it then, innit? So it's probably done. Stranger things have happened, but yeah, that's probably where we're at with that. Are Nørgaard and Zubimendi an upgrade on Partey and Jorginho is the question. I can't convincingly say with Zubimendi because you haven't kicked a ball, but I wouldn't say it's an upgrade, but I do think at this moment in time it's like for like quality, man. You've seen what he's done for Spain. We chased him for a while. As I said, I'm quite bullish. I know he plays as a 6, but when you go and like, I'm in the process of actually making a video around Nørgaard and Zubimendi. He peels out to the left a lot. Now, obviously, Rice could play there, and I just think people get too hung up on the 8s and the 6 thing. If you're an 8, you're gonna have to do 6 duties on that pitch, and vice versa. I do think you're gonna see Zubimendi. I'm not saying goals and assists and all of that, but I do think you're gonna see a lot more of him in the final third. So yeah, I'm cool with that. Nørgaard, I guess it's an upgrade on Jorginho in a sense that you're going to be in a similar kind of role, but we're probably going to see you on a more regular basis. And the only, you know, ironically, of all them guys we signed from Chelsea, Jorginho's probably been the best one. He's got the legs in it. Nørgaard is nowhere near Jorginho with the passing and the intelligence and all of that kind of stuff we know of Jorginho. But in terms of physically being able to play in the Premier League is great. And again, 38 game season is long. Bring in all the other competitions. We need to be able to rest players. Unpopular opinion, I think fans do too much about the rest thing. You can't ask your team to collect points and have consistency and rest everyone. But there has been moments we need to pull people out the side, whether that's going to be Zubimendi. When I was thinking that, I was more tailoring it towards Rice. You know, the Rice, the Sakas, the Havertz, the Salibas, the Gabriel Magalhães. Slightly, well, not even slightly, whatever you say about Martinelli, the amount of hamstring injuries, I'm no physio, and I'm not saying this on purpose. I'm just simply saying it's probably predictable that we was maybe not what we saw last season, but we was probably due them players to get injuries. And if we learn nothing more, and I'm talking about the club, not us fans, depth is needed. You know, I know we don't want unhappy players and all of those kind of things, but we never have that luxury. It's almost we don't have enough. We need to have that, man. Leao, Sesko, a right winger and right centre back would be a great window. I don't think we're going to buy a right winger. You might get I think we're going to get a left winger, and you can play on the right if need be. And Wanyeri's there, and you know, I know people don't want to hear it, but technically Trossard or Martinelli, if need be, can go over there. If he's fit, who knows? But Gabriel Jesus as well. We're clearly going to go for a left winger. Leao, I just think Leao's going to, at some point, that's the one we're going to be aggressively linked with, because it was all a Nico Williams. Clearly, he's gone to Barcelona. Who's the other one? Rodrigo, that one there, still on in the background. We're going to have to watch that situation. When it looks, I hope we get him, but when it looks like we're probably not going to get him, the next one in terms of the big names is probably Leao. And I hope, listen, go for all of these players if there's a hope, but just make sure you've got a contingency plan. Of course, you're getting linked with these stars. If there's a random Joe Blogs that in hindsight signs for us and becomes amazing, then it's all great sort of thing. But at the point of entry, I don't think anyone would get excited. But we know what the club needs to do. You need defensive reinforcements. You need a goalie, you need a centre mid, you need a left winger, you need a striker. Even the left winger and striker market, they're kind of shit. We need to go into next season with all of this. We know what we needed to do last summer. We know what we needed to do in January. We know what we did and didn't do. We know where we're at. We could do all of this and still not win the Premier League trophy. But I need to feel, and I'm sure some of you would disagree, but some of you will also agree, I need to feel we've put our best foot forward. I said this yesterday. When you look at the injuries last season, of course, no one could have quote unquote predicted that, to which you can say, simply put, that's these lot's jobs. Sorry, people. General thoughts. Chat question. Sorry, just making some timestamps. Yeah, what was I saying? Can't even remember, but yeah, we know what we needed to do. A lot of these things were at our door. And again, if we had the summer we needed in terms of quality and depth, and the season from an availability point of view, like people getting injured, if that happened, I can't speak for no one but myself. You know, I'd say, you know what, fair enough. Again, all these injuries, I say fair enough. Now, for me, that is unlucky because you've actively tried to protect yourself. I don't think it's unlucky how it all panned out last year. And I feel sorry for the players. I've seen young players step up, players I don't rate, you know, players are losing form, whether I think they're good enough or not being able to be, you know, pulled out the side. Personally, I think we're at a point generally in our squad where, of course, individually, there's players that can get better and all of these things, and Arteta needs to do stuff, but we've drawn enough blood out of that now. You need higher quality now. I think to a degree, I do think Arteta needs to arrest some of what he does tactically, but I do think to go to where we need to go. Football's not a simple game, but I do think there's an element of simplicity. We need a striker that can get us out of trouble. We need a left winger. These lot know this. If this is us as fans, they know this. Whether they're going to fix this is a completely different entity. Zubamendi and Marino were perfect partnership in Sociedad. It's great for Sociedad. It has to be great at Arsenal. Instead of Nørgaard, which ain't bad, we could have tried to get Camavinga or the Lille midfielder. I hear that, but we're not going to spend 60, 70 plus million on a striker. You might get a little developmental left winger for 30, 40, 50. If you're getting Rodrigo, that's skyrocketed. So if you were to, best case scenario, you get, for them, they get Gyokeres or Sesko. That's setting you back in and around 70 million quid, right? Rodrigo is setting you back in and around the same. You add that in, you throw in the Zubamendi thing. They're probably going to sign a defender. If you're going for Hato, that's 35, 50 million. You throw that in. I don't think it's realistic to expect us. I'm not saying you're wrong, but to get that Lille midfield, I can't remember his name, but he's a quality 17-year-old for the big money that's going to come with that. Or Camavinga, where it's going to be big money. We're not going to do that. I think Nørgaard is a floor raiser. I don't understand it, but I understand why fans are getting mad over his signing. Is, you know, we're bargain hunting. And even the pace that we move to get the signing done. We're vexed about how the season is. We're anxious about how next season is. So I get it. But isolated to Nørgaard, I don't think it's that deep. Now, obviously, if you don't go and get the ceiling raisers, now there's an issue. But I just don't think the budget was going to stretch. Hopefully, they go and get us the top attackers, because that's my thinking. You know, you're signing Nørgaard for 9.5 million quid. That gives you a bit more money to play around with. Obviously, we're hopeful of getting some money with outgoings, man. I've kind of touched on it, bold statement. I'm not going to do what some Arsenal fans are going to do in that. If you asked them 48 hours ago what they think of Nørgaard, some would probably say, I ain't watched enough. I don't rate him. It's not really one. Then you're seeing some fans that are moving like this is such a smart bit of business. This is so innovative. I just think it's a shrewd addition. Premier League experience, not breaking the bank, you know, a bit of win now mode because he's 31. In terms of experience, you know, he was captain at Brentford. You can never have too many leaders. Plugs a little gap. Would have preferred an 8, if I'm honest, just something a bit different in midfield, because what 8s in our team do we truly believe in? I think Odegaard would do good, could potentially do better in that role. I'd be keen to see Wanyeri long term be groomed into that role, but realistically, next season obviously I like Declan Rice. It's a Declan Rice thing in that role. It's Declan Rice, and then it's probably Marino and Havertz. And Marino, I prefer him up front, really, if I'm honest with you, which is mad. Do you know what? How much money are we betting that Nørgaard goes up front? How much money? Look at Tottenham Range and Nørgaard, crazy work. Nørgaard at Arsenal, you know, I'd be embarrassed. Hey, Thomas Frank tried to bring him. Tranquillo. Let's not act like Nørgaard is shit. Like, I know people are going to lose their heads. Like, let's not act like it's shit. I'm not here to say it's a great signing. I don't think it's one. To be honest, I think even myself, there's too much conversation around Christian Nørgaard. Just make sure when you're called upon, you're ready, innit? The cup matches, you're in your bag. It's calm. Nørgaard is a sensible signing, same as Kepa for financial reasons. Striker, left wing, defender needed now. We would have Preston and Ngome in Sevilla. I'm not against that, but I just feel we're losing too much experience. I'm all for finding players of tomorrow, but with what we're trying to do next season, I think for this one, I'm not even necessarily Nørgaard. I do think you need to bring in an experienced man. If Thomas Frank brought in Nørgaard, then we deserve mid-table mediocrity. I know you lot won the Europa League and but you'd bite your hand off a mid-table finish. Don't forget where you finished. Big up yourself, man. Even though you're a pagan, you're always here. Yeah, we've gone over that, Nick, man. Nørgaard up front. It would. Stranger things have happened at Arsenal. Stranger things. And it would, you know, we saw it with Kai. We saw it with Marino. Who knows with Christian Nørgaard? I didn't mind Christian Nørgaard. We needed numbers when it mattered. January, March. You get it. How long is Nørgaard's deal at 31? Not a clue. You'd imagine when it's officially confirmed, we'll get some information on that. But surely, if I'm Christian Nørgaard, I'm probably pushing for a 3-year deal. Probably settling on a 2-year contract with maybe an option of a 3rd. So let's just call it a 2-year deal, innit, really, and just play it by ear in that regards. And don't get twisted. You bring in Nørgaard, you do what needs to be done in this summer window. You see when it's September the 1st and the window's closed. I need to see, well, I'm never going to see it, but on London Colney, on their little whiteboard, it's got to say number 10 asterisk. It's got to say central midfield. Now, you lot know me. I don't do this. Oh, he's 28, he's 29, he's 30, finished and all of that kind of stuff. But you know, our midfield it's a bit old, isn't it? Not old, but it's a bit old, isn't it? Like, that part is technically here, isn't it? So that's a 31, 32-year-old. Nørgaard is 31. Rice is 26, 27 or something like that. So exclude him, but prime. Zubamendi there. Probably need a bit more renewal in that regards, or we're going to need someone. So, yeah, man, it is what it is. I really think Nørgaard is going to surprise a lot of us. He's a really good player for his age. He's just a calm, intelligent player. Probably be a problem from set pieces. You can help us in the squad. Other than that, I'm not going to get too excited. How far is the Gyokeres deal now? I will go over the tabloid talk, but at this point, I'm not interested in, not saying you necessarily Duda, but Duda? Where does that name? You've been watching The Shy. I'm only interested in Sesko and Gyokeres really now. When I'm hearing fees agreed, medicals, people are flying to London or flying to Shanghai or Spain or Hong Kong. You know, at some point, Arsenal are going to be in all these spots in terms of our pre-season preparation. It's boring now. There's too much whispers. What's being said in the press and what's actually going on is different things. For all we know, these deals could be more ahead than we're led to believe, or it's not really that. We don't know. There's no way of verifying that, any of this is really going on. So it is what it is, man. Deluded Ben Jacobs on the Football Terrace just now said he's hearing more links about Arsenal and Eze. James, big up Ben Jacobs. I'm not sure in his credibility. I am a fan of Eze. Get that done. My only thing is, and Eze could be a good option, do they see him as a proper left winger? Like, obviously, he can help us in that inverted left wing role. He can help us in the 10, good dribbler, Premier League experience. No, I don't really care about it, but got released from Arsenal. I personally believe Eze is going to go Spurs. It seems like they're the most aggressive. Are we going to front up the cash? Because if you're Crystal Palace, you're not on this plating. Pay his release clause or somewhere near to it of the 60 odd. So are we going to commit once again the 60, 70 for Gyokeres and, a similar fee, give or take 50 to 100 million, depending on the caliber of left winger you bring in? You've committed 50 odd for Zubamendi. You're probably going to bring in a left back that might not break the bank, but it could be 20, 30, 40 million. The 5 million with Kepa, the 9.5 million with Nørgaard. It all adds up. Are we going to do all of that? And yeah, you could offset it with outgoings and then find some bread for Eze. How much do they like? They might like Eze, but how much do they want Eze? I'm not sure, man. So Kepa, Mosquera, I can't say his name. Nørgaard, Zubi, we're actually getting 6 in at least now. Big up DJ. I'm just waiting to see what we should be excited about. Oh, now I haven't seen one thing to be excited about. Goosebumps, as the gaffer said. We signed another Chelsea reject. Zubamendi is the only decent signing. Beat Arsenal Champions League when that, but I hear it. You pay Rodrigo 400k a week, then you have to give Saka 350, 380. I mean, that comes with the territory, bro. It comes with the territory. Bro, you've got man in the chat trying to justify Nørgaard and turn up their nose at Rodrigo. Crazy work. I'll say that. Which youth players do you think will get a chance in pre-season? Honestly, I think there'll be a couple that travel. I think Max Dowman will get opportunities. That's the only one I could convincingly say. But I would like to see Max Dowman travel. I'd like to see Marley, centre back Marley travel. Who else is there? Louis Zavic. I can never say his name, but Louis John. It's like Zaverovic or something. John. There's a couple. Joseph. There's a couple players, man. I'd love to see Sesko Jr. But, if you're Sesko Jr., then, man, the future's not here at Arsenal. You need to keep it moving, really. Dan Casey deserves it, to be fair. He had a very good season at under 18s level. Rosiak would be good. Waters ain't playing for us anymore, my boy. Waters don't play for us anymore, my boy. Is that Luton, is he not? Is that Luton? But even that, I'm not even saying these players were going to make it, but we need to, when we've got Brooke Norton-Coffey, Amari Hutchinson, Kyle Edwards, all of the Mika Berev, we need to start making more cash on these players. Bro, Waters left time ago, bro. Where have you been? Josh Nichols, you need to be gearing up for a loan, bro. If I'm honest, you might travel. And I get it. It's great. You see the Arsenal fans are abroad. You never know. The gaffer might change things, but tired, man. You're not like, you need to go and get a serious first team experience. So, yeah, I hope Ben Jacobs is right, man. Yeah, Luton got back-to-back relegations. They've just lost their gaffer as well. Why is everyone talking about a midfield with Odegaard, Rice and Nørgaard as our starting 11 and forgetting that Marino is a midfielder too? I haven't seen that. Big up Nørgaard. Big up Marino. I'm sure there'll be opportunities for you lot to partner in midfield. But I'm not seeing Zubamendi's name. I'm not trying to hear nothing if it's not Zubamendi, Rice, Odegaard. That's my first choice midfield. Simple. People can mix and blend across the season. I'm not on this other stuff. What about Akpom and Zelalem? They're gone, bro. A long time ago. Who do you predict will score most goals? Gyokeres in Arsenal or Isaac in Liverpool? Isaac at Liverpool, because I do think we bring players in. Charlie Patterno's not here either. Big him up. We need to do a lot better, bro. Like, we need to do a lot better. There's a lot that needs to be done. Signing people. Sorry, let me close my window. Signing players is only half the job. Because you see, if Arteta doesn't, I don't know what he does, but clearly we struggle with low blocks. We struggle with breaking down low blocks. There's a lot more to give in the final third. I promise you, if I don't know what he does, but if he doesn't arrest that on the training front, you could put, well, Lionel Messi is an exaggeration. You could get Isaac, Gyokeres, Rodrigo, have them with Saka, and we'd still be saying, oh, we can't break down and create chances. Because there was a point at Arsenal under Mikel Arteta and Wenger. We were creating chances. Dons just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. Someone said David Ornstein bomber. Let's go. David Ornstein, Romano. Big up hand of Arsenal, because you're not gonna get your clout. Hey, they tried to tell Berta. They tried to tell Berta. Get signings in and all of this. Hand of Arsenal is the king, man. But nah, King's a bit mad. But you're the guy, man, because David Ornstein's giving you the call sign. There's so many call signs going on. They're paying homage. Shout him, man. Only ITK I recognize, man. I don't know about Team News and Ticks and all them dibby dons. Marino in a star, but he has a role in this team. Yeah, you have your role. If Liverpool get Isaac, they will have a monopoly in England. They'll be a very good team, 100%. Second again, you'll buy your arm off a second. Big up Spurs. Well, not even big up Spurs. Big up Tottenham Rangers. But come on, bro. It's tired. It's tired. It's tired. Let's see if you can finish second again. Well, we'll have to see. Have you seen your team win the Prem? You lot should be thanking us, bro. I've seen my team win it at your ground. Live, fam. Man, are flexing a vase and that. The Europa League thing's dead. I know our European heritage is poor, but that's dead. You can't even put Henny in that. There's not even the Champions League. You can pour alcohol in it or juice if you don't drink. You can't even put alcohol in the Europa League thing. Tired. And don't think I haven't got it clipped up where Postecoglou is like the next season is always better or whatever. Have you seen your team win a European trophy? Yes, I have. Did we not beat Barcelona in Lisbon? Tranquillo, my friend. We're going to get into all of that in a second, but I'm enjoying you lot's conversation, even though I'm having to keep changing the timestamps, man. But big up you lot, man. That's nothing to brag about, bro. Nottingham Forest have it more than us, and we're still the most talked about club. Everybody says Arsenal shit. All you do is talk on our plays. You got Man United fans, all these fans. All they're doing is videos about Arsenal. You need us. You need us. Stop. This is the thing with Arsenal. We don't do link ups. You don't even know what team you support. Big up yourself because you support DG Nation, but you're doing link ups. Stop breading. Stop breading. Stop breading, man. But yeah, hear me out. Rodrigo on the left. Rafael is a false 9. Saka on the right, obviously. Big Smoke, I hear you, but I'm not on that. On a consistent basis, I'm not on that, man. So this rules out Hato. Probably. Morgan Rogers would have been a great player for us. Yeah, but if you're not putting the P's down, it's a myth, bro. Do you think Cronkies are just putting bums on seats? You need a squad to put out to bring punters in. Like you need to buy products to fill in supermarkets, but not win trophies. I don't think they man care about winning like that. I do think they want to win, but I don't think they care about winning. As long as the paper's coming in, we're getting Champions League football. I don't think they're dying to win. I think they like to win, as I keep saying. That's why we need, at this moment in time, Arteta to get everything right, Berta to get everything right, the players to get everything right, because this is the dynamics. It's never, indirectly, it's going to come from the head, but they're not, it will be in spite of them. Well, they would have helped it because you get it, but they don't really want to win, bro. They don't. They don't. Or you would have, all the stuff we're talking about, you patterned that up last summer, sorry. It is what it is, man. Marino had a strong end to the season. Now he's settled. I'm sure he'll perform very well. I'm not really on him in midfield on a consistent basis, man. Not going to lie, watching the under-21s yesterday, seeing Brook Norton coffee, and we never gave him a chance or good money for him is typical us. Edu, that's what he was shit at, shit hustling. Getting silly fees, stupid fees for guys. What's the difference between Leao and Lookman? You'd have to ask someone more informed. I do like Lookman though, man. I'd be more gassed about Leao, but I'd be more convinced in Lookman because I just feel Leao's ceiling is high, can do better things, but the level of consistency I need. And once I get beyond, it's a shiny new toy, it's amazing, all of these kind of things, it's meaty. Bidon is a talent if you get him technically a beast, bro. He's like a Brazilian Spanish midfielder, and that's why we'll get into it, but I don't buy that link because obviously, future-proof, stars of tomorrow, all that kind of stuff, do that. But is it fair to say we've got 2 midfielders in? Feels like midfield is kind of sorted. I can't see us bringing Donny in. You're not going to play, are you? Really? It just feels like paper talk. But it'd be nice to get some stars from South America. That's something we struggle with. Can we get to 100 likes, people? Come on, man. Don't let karma down. Big up DJ in the chat. Tell that man Arteta we said no Odegaard. We said no Odegaard, not Nordgaard. Bro. It's a madness. It's an absolute madness. I mean, listening to guys talking about our squad when they're 15th for minus goal tally is laughable. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. Nordgaard and Kepa should go under the radar. We should appreciate them on top of big signings. I got more faith in Nordgaard than Kepa. I'm not going to cry about Kepa and that, and I hear the rhetoric. He's a number 2. I don't want to do too much. I don't believe in him. I'm very nervous if you have to, God forbid, if Raya gets injured. I know you did all right at Bournemouth. I know you got pedigree. At the end of the day, you've played for Spain. You won the Champions League. You was at Madrid. You've been in scenarios like Chelsea where you're fighting Mendy, or Real Madrid where you're fighting a couple keepers and you know they're going to have that here. I'm just not convinced. I want to be proven wrong. I'm not convinced. And the football's funny, God forbid. But I said this when the news with Kepa first broke. It just stinks of, I've seen the script. Unfortunately, Raya gets injured. Kepa has an extended run in the team. I want to be wrong. You know, I've given my apologies, to players. I'd never rated Kivior. Big fan of Kivior now. Even though I think he's cutting. But yeah, I think Partey has hit his peak. Zubimendi is quality and will grow. I'm sure he'll become better than Partey. He's only 26 and was the hottest 6 on the market. Don't think Sesko is a good choice. Kai will be starting in front of him. Them first 6 games could completely ruin Sesko due to the toxicity. It also isn't exciting. I'll be real. I actually feel sorry for Zubimendi, Kepa, Nordgaard, more so whoever that left winger or striker is going to be, because even whether that's Gyokeres or Sesko, people are expecting fireworks. People are impatient now. Like you know the dynamics of Arsenal. Every game we win, fans were winning the league. Every game we lose, it's over. Sack him. Like it's gonna be it was last year and it always is, but it's gonna be a crazy season. It's only bad if Zubi doesn't kick off throughout the season, but more time I'm personally not fussed with Nordgaard, competent backup. Said it there. Zubimendi is a proper 6. I think he'll elevate the others around him. I hope we see him in pre-season. That meltdown was disgraceful. Honestly, sick of content creators calling them Arsenal fans. Like, think logically. Are you going to pay a 32-year-old injury-prone CDM 250 grand a week for 2 weeks? 2 years, sorry. I ain't done that. I ain't do nothing. I guess that's a general statement. Will Ethan go out on loan or actually be used? I'm not convinced Arteta will ever use subs properly. Apart from Dalman, which youth players could be brought into the fold? I think I've answered that. I hope Wanyeri gets more minutes, but the problem is, I think right now you are seen as backup to Saka, or let's forget Saka. Your thing is in the short term. You're into this team is the right hand side. We all know about Odegaard. Forget 8s and 10s, and just focus on midfield. That's the problem with Wanyeri, innit? Like, I personally think he could have played on the left. You've got your captain Odegaard, rightly or wrongly, there. You've got Saka there. That's blocked off. You've now got the Rices, the Marinos, the Nørgaards. We're in with now mode. I hope he gets opportunities. And for me, with Wanyeri, honestly, just spend the summer. Yeah, obviously, I think he could get more football, but I think he still needs to adapt physically, still needs to adapt defensively. These are things that you would expect of a young player, right? So I've got no issues. I don't think it's in terms of quality. It can't be. He's got the technical level. Obviously, speed of thought, consistency, as I just said, all these kind of things he needs to add into his game. That's natural. I'm not expecting you to be the finished article at 17, 18 years of age. The only reason you're genuinely not in that team, in my opinion, ahead of Odegaard, or if we have Odegaard struggling, which would probably be Kai Havertz as the next one, just spend the summer. You see everything that Arteta wants from Odegaard in that role, the pressing, where you got to position yourself. Get up to speed with that, or make significant progress with that. All that off the ball crap that we need to do, get up to speed with that. And I genuinely think it's a timing thing, but we'll have to see. We know we're going to bet on the experience, man. Like, as much as I like Lewis Skelly's emergence, and shout out the gaffer, I don't know if Lewis Skelly gets them opportunities if the injuries weren't there. Now, fundamentally, I guess that's how football works. He won't be the first nor the last player that's taking advantage of injuries to his teammates and ran with it and big him up for the new deal and whatnot. Partey, Nørgaard, he's used to the team system already. I don't think we're signing Gyokeres or Sesko. Media and Arsenal fans being spun a lie. Boy, I'm so bored of the striker search. I don't even care for updates anymore. Damn, man, you hurt my feelings. With Jesus playing bench along with Partey, it would be $500,000 a week sitting on the bench. The board don't want that. Again, last sentence. The board don't want that. They don't want that at all. Man said Joe Biden. Big up yourself, man. Real one with real fans, man. Appreciate you lot. 9 more to 100. We get to 100, we get into the transfer news. We don't, we'll just sit here in silence, shouldn't we? Just finish my juice. Big up the ones that have hit that like button, man. Our fans are overrating Sesko to an insane degree because of comps. Weird. I like setup. Speaking for myself, I want Gyökeres because it's different. It's win now mode. I'm bullish about Sesko and Zubimendi, but you know how Arsenal fans on social media, right? They ain't watched him. They start using smart words and making sentences, and they start falling in love with players. We need a striker. That's where I'm at. If you get Gyokeres, cool. If you get Sesko, cool. If you get random Joe Blogs, cool. That's where I am now. Just get me a striker and we talk about the little finer intricacies later on. Because Sesko could sign and flop. Gyokeres could sign and flop. They could both sign and be successful. I got small hope, deluded hope, 100% deluded hope that we sign both. I know. But yeah. Mascara is out of contract in the summer of 2026 and won't sign another contract. We could snatch him up for a bargain this summer. That's probably why the Hatto thing, we're just saying, you know what, safe, forget that. But it'd be nice to get both because Hatto can play left back. Still disappointed Mascara chose Spain instead of Colombia, but he has a lot of potential. Some bozo moments at times, but young enough to correct them. At every big club Kepa has played for, he's won Champions League, so this is our year. Fair enough. Hi, my guy. Big up Iceland, man. P, appreciate you. And God bless everyone in the chat as well on his behalf. Lookman would have been a better replacement for Martinelli. He's not as expensive as Leao. This guy isn't better than Hatto. I don't think he is. Douglas Luiz would have been good. To be fair, we did go for him. Can play 8 and 6. Wouldn't be a groundbreaking signing, but wouldn't be the worst. Stock's falling though at Juventus. To be fair, I'd prefer to spend 5 million on a backup keeper than spending 30 on Garcia instead of strengthening other areas. I hear that. We need more creativity in the midfield. Eze would be great. The amount of so-called high-ceiling players we signed, and it's like the ceiling was on the damn ground because none of them ain't rising at all. Must be a midget ceiling. Damn. Kepa actually a decent keeper, but that Sarri BS will live with me forever. Exactly that. But to be fair, I'm not even vexed about that because you try that here, you're going to get beaten up respectfully to Kepa. It's not going to bang. And to be fair, Nordgaard, you got to say sorry to Martinelli. But I just not convinced with Kepa, bro. Appreciate you, K. I'm just not convinced, man. DG Hatto cooked, get him. I think I'm gonna have to give up with that. Big up DG. Berta is on fraud. Watch it. The guy just got into the job, man. Allow him, bro. Allow him, man. Allow him, bro. He just got in. I don't think our summer has been bad so far. Just the others around us moving quickly with massive signings has lowered people's patience. I don't see you signing a striker. You've got too many already. Fair enough. I'm pretty sure we'll sign a striker. Whether they'll be good enough is a completely different thing. But if Arsenal don't sign a striker, well, pack up the league, bro. Pack up the league because you're not serious. I hope despite all of that, we do what needs to be done, but you're not serious. Smash the like button, people. You know, I'm a man of my words. So now with 100 likes, transfer news. Don't forget 4 p.m., 9 p.m. UK time. There's other live bits and pieces from myself, people. But yeah, man, let me share my screen. Let's crack on, guys and girls, man. Big up you lot tuned in. The first thing I want to say is actually thank you for you lot support, people, because you know this was 8 years ago. This was my first video. I don't know why, but someone commented on it today. Crazy what we've been able to achieve. Trust the process, people. This is a process you can trust. But yeah, big up you lot. We're starting with Gyökeres. As you would have seen in the last 24 hours, Gyökeres has been linked with many clubs, primarily Arsenal. And a man said DG 115 likes, Man City 115 charges. You're crazy, but as I was saying, Gyökeres has been linked with many a team. He's been linked with Liverpool here and there, probably aggressive over the last 24 hours, probably because it looks like Napoli are aggressively trying to get Darwin Núñez. And Liverpool could do with a striker. They've been linked with Isaac, innit? So apparently Liverpool's hat has been thrown into the ring with Gyökeres, in which, boy, they've won the Premier League. You know, they've been the only team that's been able to pip City to such. They've won the Champions League not too long ago. Arne Slot's doing his thing. They've got good players there. If you're a striker, Salah, all them guys playing with them, it'd be great. The only thing you would say is you wish you probably played with Trent because you probably could have got some more assists. It makes sense. You could live in London, though. Personally, though, I don't think we're on to Gyökeres. I think Gyökeres is the contingency plan. I think the club wants Sesko personally, just because done a lot of groundwork, the star of tomorrow kind of thing. I don't think we're gonna do that if I'm completely honest with you. I don't. Yeah, I'm talking about experience, and I don't necessarily care about the age, but Nørgaard 31. Gyökeres 27. Fair enough, Kepa's back up, but he's quite experienced. To be fair, even to a degree, Zubimendi at 26. You know, our club gets a bit excited around late teens to early 20s, which is it's Sesko, sorry. So I can't see us going for it. But nonetheless, Liverpool, Arsenal, and Chelsea as well as United apparently monitoring Mr. Gyökeres. And again, I don't believe the Gyökeres thing necessarily because Darwin Núñez apparently agreed personal terms with Napoli. So maybe journalists are being a bit creative. Sammy Motbell, big up the latte firm, big him up. If everything went according to plan and Arsenal get who they wanted to get, it'd be Sesko. But things in football might not go as you'd expect. Up until today, there is no clear favourite on which deal will progress, I assume. Maybe the journalists. I'd be very shocked if internally at Arsenal, whether it is Gyökeres, whether it is Sesko, they know which one they want in it. They know which one they want. If there was a vote inside of Arsenal of the people that matter, we all matter, would be more universal backing for Sesko than Gyökeres, but both deals are being worked on so they can move on one when exact figures involved become apparent. I'm not saying Arsenal will sign Sesko, but if they get a good money deal for him, he's the preferred option. So that kind of is piggy banking of what I said and what some of you are saying. Sesko is the first option, but Leipzig want more money. He didn't request for outrageous wages or release clause to be inserted in any contract. Arsenal reached out to Gyökeres camp 4 days ago to ask for the conditions on the deal. Arsenal not putting their eggs in one basket. So we're hearing the same things, people. And to be honest, Sport in Lisbon are apparently signing Luis Javier Suarez. Couldn't tell you about him, but he's a striker. So they're getting their own little replacement. So maybe when they get him through the door, wherever Gyökeres ends up, we'll have confirmation. You would have also seen yesterday, apparently, Sesko started following Arsenal on social media. Could just be following us for the sake of it, but adds fuel to the fire. Arsenal offer will hit the post. Gunners expected to bid in the coming days, but it's too low. 1 second. Okay. Don't know why my TV just randomly turned on, but let's get back into this. Viktor Gyökeres is splashed across the front page of Thursday's edition of Ebola, with the newspaper claiming another offer from Arsenal is on the way. The Gunners have already offered 55 million euros plus a potential 10 million euros in bonus payments. I don't believe that, because 1 minute we've bidded, well, not once, not twice, but 3 times. Then we've not bidded. Then it's verbal bids. Then the president speaking. Then Gyökeres strike threats. Then he's getting a new boot sponsor. He's changing to Adidas and Nike. It's all long now, man. It's all long. I tab Belize, allow me. How are we gonna go through this then? How are we gonna go through this? Allow me, man. So yeah, them tabs might be the only thing stopping us on the transfer market. Jokes on you, because we got 2 CPUs in there. This laptop can handle it. Tranquillo, respect, like Jose Mourinho said. But anyways, and I give you a lot of content. Anyways, for the mature individuals that are listening, big up you lot. Smash the like button and subscribe if you're new. In Portugal, people, sorry, I'm reading ahead. The Gunners have already offered 55 million plus a potential further 10 million in bonus payments, an offer which wasn't made formally. So we haven't bid it officially. So is that verbal? Is that we just floated it in conversation? In Portugal, there's no desire to receive formal offers until a bid has been agreed, because there's often contract clauses related to them. For example, if Sporting receive a 60 million euros formal offer for Gyökeres and reject it, then the player's agent would be due compensation of a 10% of the fee. Such a scenario would make the situation even more warlike, especially in today's day and age. We probably shouldn't compare it to war, than it is now. Sporting have told their local media that if it were to happen, then the player's asking price would revert to his 100 million euros clause. Anyways, Ebola report Arsenal are now willing to go to 60 million euros, presumably with the 10 million euros in bonus payments still involved somehow. That is something which Ebola say could happen in the next few days, but it's also stated such a bid will hit the post and not land in the empty net, which would trigger the striker's exit. It's worth noting that the Sporting president, Federico Varandas, said the following earlier this month: Sporting will not demand the termination clause, but they should know me better by now. Threats, blackmail, insults do not work with me. One thing I can guarantee, Gyökeres will not leave for 60 million plus 10 million. He will not leave because I never allowed it. And with this game that the agent is playing, it only makes the situation worse. Could his agent and Sporting's little disagreement, could that be affecting an Arsenal, a Liverpool, a Man United, and all these clubs in the pursuit of Gyökeres? I don't know. It's worth noting. This is coming from Ebola, not Record or Breno Bidon, who have been the best on this so far. It's also worth noting Sporting are due back in training on July the 1st. Wednesday's claims of Carreo de Mania reporting Liverpool are in the chase appeared to have been twisted somewhat. The newspaper said the Reds' interest had come from the British press and that they were covering that. So it's a lot of mind games. Arsenal hope to have a deal for Brentford captain Christian Nørgaard wrapped up by the weekend. The Gunners have moved quickly for Nørgaard. Wow, we've moved quickly in the transfer market. It can be done. Tabling a 9.3 million bid on Wednesday, and Brentford are prepared to accept the midfielder's desire to play in the Champions League. Personal terms have already been agreed and a medical scheduled, with Nørgaard set to replace Jorginho. Key name Jorginho, who has departed from Flamengo. Thomas Partey, whose Arsenal contract is due to expire at the end of the month. Nørgaard will add experience and leadership to Arsenal, joining Real Sociedad midfielder Martin Zubimendi in bolstering the Gunners' ranks in the middle of the park. Kepa is also poised to arrive from Chelsea. Nørgaard, who signed a new 2-year contract at Brentford in March, stayed at the G-Tech Community Stadium last summer amid interest from Liverpool and Chelsea, as he felt indebted to now departed head coach Thomas Frank. Oh, so Chelsea and Liverpool wanted him. We got agendas. Now, however, with Frank at Tottenham, Nørgaard is keen to pursue a move from Brentford, with the club happy to respect his loyalty after 6 years in West London. Spare a thought for Brentford. Lost their manager. Probably going to lose Visa. Going to lose Mbeumo. Lost your captain. Darkness, man. Lost Ben Mee as well. Big up Ben Mee. Making 34 appearances in the Premier League and scoring 5 goals. He's also been linked with a reunion with Frank at Spurs. Nørgaard, who has been in Denmark this week as his wife gives birth, is set to join compatriot Frank, and Bryan Mbeumo, who's moved to Man United, is imminent in leaving Brentford this summer. With their head coach, star forward and captain all leaving, Brentford are in a peculiar position heading into their 5th successive season in the Prem. And I hope they stay up for what it's worth, people. Pardon me, the whole package. Expert believes Arteta is securing a superb signing for Arsenal. We don't need to gas it. It's calm. Christian is a fantastic guy. I have nothing but good things to say about him. This is from Frank Arneson. Wasn't you a scout? You meet players many times in your life, but I always hope this one would have a fantastic career. He's got that. He's become captain of Brentford and has done incredibly well. If he can take the step up and come to Arsenal, it would be fantastic. Every dressing room would be thrilled to have him. He has the right mentality as a team player and has the attitude. And he's a bit of a see you next Tuesday. Fair play. Fair play. But that's all good. Sign the bad boys. Partey set to leave as a free agent. We've already known that. And talks about getting a deal for Nørgaard are still progressing. We've heard this for the best month. He's set to leave. He has been pictured in Spain, though. Maybe he was going to do that anyways, but he's technically with the Arsenal players. So is it done? Is it done? Or is there small hope? Miles Lewis-Skelly signed a new contract. We're going to circle back on that. Where Rodrigo is concerned, Jabi Alonso said, I see Rodrigo in good shape. He was on the bench for a technical decision. He's still important. We'll need him at the Club World Cup. He's a special player and will play a key role. Does that sound like a manager that wants to let him go? I'm not too sure. We've been linked with Breno Bidon, 20-year-old. Apparently, he's received several offers from Benfica, Sport in Portugal, Wolves, Brighton, Arsenal in England, and clubs in Germany, Italy, and the Netherlands. I like him. Think he's got potential. Think it could be a market opportunity. He's like a Brazilian Spanish midfielder, comfortable in the 8, scope to grow. But for obvious reasons, with Zubamendi coming in, Nørgaard coming in, and the existing options, I don't buy it too much, especially because Corinthians, you probably want top money for this guy. So I just can't see it happening, people. But we've been linked with him. At least it's a new name. Izan Khan of the Daily Mail said, sources close to the club suggest Sporting's keenness to offload Gyokeres has become clearer by the day and arguably weakened their hand. Internally, there are already reservations over the player. Sources say Leipzig are driving a hard bargain for Sesko because they know all too well how desperate Arsenal are for a striker. It is for this reason and Arsenal's desire to not spend way over their budget for a striker that there is a delay. Berta is said to have other striker options too, which he's in negotiations over. If a deal for Sesko or Gyökeres was not to materialize, the prospect of a surprise name entering the frame is apparently a possibility, people. The Mail also understands Mikel Arteta wants a striker in before pre-season, where we go to Hong Kong and Singapore, which we fly out on the 19th of July. Both Sesko and Gyökeres have been strongly linked, but it's understood that Sesko is the priority. At least in the same article, more or less, at least 5 signings are to be made in the summer, which Arsenal insiders say will definitely be a packed one. In terms of incomings, a striker is front and center of the club's priority list, while a defender is also on that list. So they said 5, right? Surely it's got to be more because what? Kepa, Nørgaard, Zubamendi, assume the Mosquera, assume Sesko. That's a left winger short. And I'd be amazed if we don't sign a left back for what it's worth. But what do you lot make of that? Arsenal are really keen to sign Hato and be loath to miss out on a player they've been tracking since he was 15, says Graham Bailey. I wonder, keep that in mind. I wonder that's going to mean for us. As I said, Miles Lewis-Skelly has signed a new deal. It's been, he signed a 5-year deal. He's one of the best played young players in the world. So shout out to him, his mother, Marcia, his grandma, his whole family, man. Miles Lewis-Skelly, we love you, mate. We love you. So yeah, it's been officially confirmed. He's actually spoken and also said himself, I'm so proud and happy. I know those words are simple, but I think they sum up how I feel signing for this club. I'm a fan and it's like a dream come true. I've embodied the values of Haaland and come through. I love the way the man speaks as well. I've still got a lot of years ahead of me. So if I can keep staying humble and being a good person, that's the most important thing for me. 49, Lewis-Skelly, future captain. I know I've taken a lot of experience from the games about the positive moments, the mistakes I've made. I'm definitely more ready now for next season. I just want to keep learning and keep improving. This is the man that they said is arrogant and needs to know his place. And we all know the witch hunt that started. He's not going to be the first nor the last black youth that's villainized, isn't it? Somehow, Garnacho wearing Rashford's Aston Villa shirt, Rashford's getting strays. Anyways, it is what it is. I want a legacy. I want to win everything there is to win in the game. I want to win trophies on the biggest stage while being a person that's always learning and stays grounded, which is so important. You know what? I was watching highlights of Lewis-Skelly yesterday and you're not making Valverde and doing a madness in the Champions League. It's a movie, really and truly. What's this? Again, this was a think piece. Obviously, several members of staff are going to be at the forefront of getting Lewis-Skelly a new deal over the line. We all know how the good work his mother does actually around youth academies and teaching parents about academy football. And obviously, she's a licensed agent. And you're actually seeing this. A lot of family members are starting to get involved in players' dealings. And actually, you're seeing a lot of players handle negotiations themselves and seek people on a consultancy basis, which is good. It's good stuff. I mean, you can't always trust family, but in this case, you can. So yeah, man, big up Miles Lewis Skelly and big up everyone. I'm happy, man. Easily one of my favorite players. Gyökeres completed his medical at Arsenal on Wednesday, and formal steps will follow. 5 million release clause already activated. That was Fabrizio Romano. If this would load, we'll get to see what the hell this is. What's this? Okay, this is just a random tab. Apparently, this Christian Nørgaard had the best ground duel win rate in La Liga last season of players to contest 100 plus duels. Fair play. We're definitely going to get into that in just a second, people. Just cool, man. Yeah, so Kepa's completed his medical and he's expected to be announced by the club in the next 24 to 48 hours. That's what Sky Sports is saying. If there's a deal to be done for Rodrigo, Arsenal would be keen to do it. His future at Real Madrid is far from clear, and a move, if Arsenal encouraged to make an offer, would not be expected to happen until much later in the window. That is being reported by Sam Dean of The Telegraph. What's this? We've made an inquiry. Apparently, Arsenal have spoken to West Ham about signing Mohamed Kudus, people. It wouldn't shock me if Arsenal had made a call about or an inquiry for Mohamed Kudus. This is by Sammy Motbell, because there's been interest there in the past. And my information on Kudus is that all of the top 6 in the Premier League have checked in on the conditions of that deal. He's obviously got an 85 million release clause to Premier League clubs, but I think West Ham would be willing to take below that because they need to reinvest, basically. They need money to reinvest in the squad. They wouldn't take masses below that, but they would certainly be open to negotiations. So Kudus is an interesting one because there's long-term interest there. And as I understand, there's been an inquiry, as I say, from the Premier League's top 6, which Arsenal are one of them, people. Arsenal are still to prioritize Rodrigo over Mohamed Kudus, apparently. David Ornstein, you would have seen, has said Arsenal are working on a deal to sign Valencia defender Mosquera. Arsenal are working on a deal to sign Valencia defender Christian Mosquera. The North London club have made a defensive signing a priority this summer, with the 20-year-old Spain youth international growing Spanish influence currently their preferred option. Mosquera has been with Valencia since age 12, progressing through the academy ranks before making his first team debut in January of 2022. He has made 90 appearances for the La Liga club in total, including 41 last season. That included playing 90 minutes in 37 of the club's 38 games. So you're durable. A right-footed and physically imposing centre-back, Arsenal see Mosquera as ideal cover for first-choice pairing Gabriel and William Saliba. They previously looked at Howson before he left Bournemouth for Real Madrid earlier this summer. Saliba, in brackets, 51 appearances last season, and Gabriel Magalhaes, 42, played the majority of the games in central defence last term, with Kivior, Timber, Ben White, Calafiori, the backup options. Born to Colombian parents in Spain, Mosquera is also eligible to play for Colombia's senior national team, but is featured regularly through Spain's youth setup, including at this summer's Under-21s European Championships. We did try to sign Viktor Gyökeres. We were linked with Mark Gurhey. Clearly, we need defensive reinforcements in that regard. BBC Sport understands Agami featured prominently on Arsenal's list of potential targets to replace Thomas Partey. Crucially, however, it's understood Mikel Arteta identified Christian Nørgaard because he preferred a Premier League-ready player, especially with players coming in for another league. But that's another way of Arteta getting his own way. Don't want to hear excuses in that regards, people. Berta hasn't forgot him. Director leading Arsenal interest in 30 million euros transfer. Who is this about? So we've been linked with another defender simultaneously. Who though? Arsenal and Atletico Madrid are considering a move for Inter Milan's Carlos Augusto this summer. That's according to FC Internews, who state Arsenal sporting director Berta is leading their pursuit. Berta spent 12 years with the La Liga club and stepping down from his role as director in January. 2 months later, he joined Arsenal. We know this. Atletico Madrid have long been following the left back. Oh, so he's a left back. So yeah, it makes sense. Even when Berta was at the club, the report states the Italian had carefully evaluated his profile before leaving the club for the Gunners. Atletico are still in the picture for the 26-year-old, while FC Internews indicate Arsenal's interest is mainly because of their director. They state Berta hasn't forgotten. We probably need a left back, if I'm honest with you. But boy, because is Calafiori going to get injuries? Probably. Is Tomiyasu going to get injuries? Probably. Miles Lewis Skelly, he could go through a loss of form, could get injured and whatnot. Zinchenko is cutting. Tini's gone. The depth isn't as strong as it might appear on paper when the season plays out. Apparently, Augusto was immediately embraced by Chivia, and therefore the Serie A club haven't placed him on the market. If there's a stale, the report states that Inter will need at least 30 million euros to start a negotiation. Fair play in that regard. So yeah, big up hand of Arsenal, because he said we're targeting this guy and we're hoping to beat rivals to that pursuit. Romano has confirmed that as well. Let's get it done. We're getting a move on, and it's not even July. Imagine all this gets announced. I'm not gonna lie, yeah. You see, when I just read that, I thought David Ornstein tweeted about Rodrigo. I was getting excited, but that appears all the transfer news, people. We need to win now, not in 3 years. Another underwhelming signing. When are we going to sign some world-class players? I'm with that. Skelly should play left centre mid. It'd be nice. I prefer him in the 6, but I hear that. No track back issues with Martinez. The MLS video was wholesome. The Arsenal family is legit. He's a fan, player, and a baller. Lautaro Martinez is a player I'd be happy with. I can't lie. We're not going for him, though. He's going to cost a lot, man. He's going to cost a lot, and I just can't see it. He has a year left on his contract, so should be a cheap talent at centre back with a lot of upside. If he becomes reliable backup and, you know, goes beyond that and he's able to push either Magalhaes or Saliba, great. If he improves and there's a sale to be made at some point, because we got to remember the club do care about that resale value stuff, even better, really and truly, people. 153 likes. Can we get to 200, or is that dream chasing? We need more French players, always Spanish. But I told you, Kudus, cam/right wing. What's going to pee me off is announcing the keeper signing before the striker signing. I hear it. I hear it. I hear it. What else are you lot saying? Skelly and Ethan just getting started. Free Rashford for real, just not for us. Plus them wages are wham. Do you think we'll get a forward? I like how Berta is doing, not getting scammed by teams like we did. 11 million for a decent midfielder and captain and a great backup goalkeeper for 5 million. I think we get a striker, but boy, who knows? Justice for Rashi. It's never going to happen. Sad to see Partey go. I didn't want Partey to leave, but it is where it is, man. It's something that was going to need to happen, and it forces us to just move on, man. What's this Cherky and Foden beef I'm seeing on TikTok? God give me seniority to accept the things I can't change. Fits well with Arsenal, DG. I hear that. At least you admit he doesn't track back, but now trying to justify it. Would it work for us? Is bemusing. Are you his agent? Who? They outscore their opponents, and Trent is a midfielder playing right back. Timber is a centre back playing right back. Not a good example. Okay, you lot must be chatting in the chat, because I don't think I said anything. Nørgaard living the dream, doesn't have to move house. Such a good opportunity for him. Just a bit more on his commute, innit, really? Stay in London, get a move to a bigger club, play in the Champions League. Is what it is. When you see the fee is in euros and not pounds, the original source is foreign. Overpaying for players just for the sake of getting them now is stupid. I hear that. Why is it taking so long to bid on players we need in the positions we need? What's the hold up? They should just pay the money and move on to the next. Gyokeres would work. Gyokeres working hard, bro. His skill just like Luis Suarez, but he's without diving, bro. He's a monster. I like Gyokeres, but the only thing him and Luis Suarez have in common is that they're both strikers, man. I don't know about that one, dear. I see us getting Sesko going. I see us getting Sesko going to Arsenal and Gyokeres going for Juventus due to them being the only club in the Champions League willing to take the risk on him. I hear it, man. Look at all those tabs. That processor is probably spitting blood. Hey, better start working, man. You lot just hating just because you lot's laptops turn off. It's all right, man. Trust the process. It's all right, man. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. DG, most aren't delusional. We all have seen this before. The only thing consistent about our club, we have consistency, not win shit. When will it end? Oh, we win something, man. But boy, depth cover for Saliba, Gabriel signings. Boy, so yeah, man, hopefully we get a move on. You know, if they announce all these things July the 1st, great. But get me my striker and left winger, man. Because this all great. People can gas up the signings and say, you know, Nørgaard, Mosquera, Kepa, might not be excited about them, but you can see, okay, not breaking the bank, you're getting moves done. This summer is going to be summed up by the left winger and the striker. And simply put that in it, really. That's what we need. You can do all of this. If you fall short in that regard, we know the writing's on the wall, man. Is Berta cooking? He's getting things done. No, them bid and get rejected days are over. That was an Edu thing. Berta don't pull the trigger unless the deal is agreed. It's business. While I want to see the club get a move on and that, I'm not. There are some situations where you just, of course, got to put down the money. But just because, bro, it's negotiations. I am with every Arsenal fan, 1,000,000%. It's a bit frustrated seeing other bad boy players go to other teams, know what we want to address, can see how these competent signings plug gaps, but you want everything. But this is business. You're not going to just run 70 million. There's things going on in the background. I'm not even saying that to gas the club. So we can be patient in that regards. That being said, get a move on. Saying just pay the money because for paying money's sake, that's not how business works. The buying club is, in theory, wants to pay a bit less and tailor things. The selling club wants to get a bit more. That's business. You've got to come to some resolution, bro. So yeah, I'm not gonna cry about that. I don't think Rodrigo will do well in the Prem. I personally would prefer Kudus. Just spend the peas, man. I want Rodrigo. I'm happy with all of them, but just spend the peas. Whether it works out or not, just spend the peas. I would have preferred a Gomi and Garcia as a way of future-proofing those positions. I hear that, but in reality, I'm not saying I was right, but I knew the Garcia thing is not going to make sense. It's not going to make sense. Like, you'll find, obviously he's gone Barca now, but you're starting to make inroads for Espanyol. You're starting to sniff around the Spain squad. How long are you going to want to be number 2 before Arsenal might either have to sell him, or I'm not saying Raya deserves this, but we've seen the whole Ramsdale and Leno, Ramsdale and Raya. It weren't making sense. At some point, something's going to have to give. And I don't think there's any Arsenal fan or any content creator that loves youth football more than me, talent ID more than me, seeing players develop more than me. The track records are there, like with a Gourmet. Not that I know everything, it's all there. We're in win now mode. And I do think we're in this trap of always thinking about tomorrow, which you should do. You can't think about the past too much, but you can never forget it. You can't always think about the future. You need to live in the present, and we need people who are going to do this thing right now. But we are going to have to put on the whiteboard at London Coley, in my opinion, a younger midfielder or two. And I'd love an 8 and I'd love a 10. That ain't happening this summer, though. Like, there's no reality where you're going to have the perfect age of all these players. So, yeah, man. Likes up for DJ, giving us constant live news and footy chat. Without you lot, it'd be tied. We need another defender still. We need to win now, not in 3 years. That's where we're at with it, man. Everyone wants to have all the players in now, but it's never been how it works, unless it was Chelsea days where they don't care. Throw 90 million at a player worth 40 to 50 million and give them crazy wages. Obviously, there's sometimes you're going to have to get business done. There's exceptions to the rule. There are occasions. Just put the money down. But that's exceptions rather than the rule. I'd take Palace's mid, Wharton or Eze. Wharton, I'd love him as a player. If you're Palace, you're probably going to lose Eze. You're probably going to lose Gurhi. You do have the Europa League. Wharton's one you want to hold on to a couple of years. They're going to tell you 70, 80, 90, 100 million, whether we believe it or not. He's a good player. He's key to them. He's under contract for a while. Everyone in the Premier League's got money. There is the English tax that needs to be applied, etc. You got more of a chance of Eze this summer, man. Definitely more of a chance of Eze. A big club would get Frankie de Jong. We're getting Nørgaard like we're fighting for 6th. I hear that, but realistically, we're not going to go and get Frankie de Jong and have Zubimendi. I like Frankie de Jong. I think you're an Arsenal midfielder, and I don't mean you don't have the mentality. I just think you're a bit soft. I need a couple players when the chips are down that you're on it. We're not in for Frankie de Jong. Because then when we bring these men in and they flop, boy, I'm also not over the moon with Rodrigo. Links a bit meh for me. We're not getting Rodrigo, bro. But I hope I'm wrong. I was wrong about us getting Aubameyang, Ozil, Alexis Sanchez, Declan Rice, actually. So, yeah, Konate leaving at the end of his contract is something all these clubs are going to have to deal with, whether it's Paris Saint-Germain or Real Madrid. I mean, you're a Liverpool fan, Andrew. Yeah, you lot always tell us Konate is better than Saliba, Real Madrid. Arsenal fans are delusional. Saliba's not that good. Trust me, Konate is the one you want. Go and have him. To be fair, though, there are conflicting reports. 1 minute he's going to leave on a free. The next is he's going to sign a new deal. Konate, I say this for all players of all clubs. Go and get your money. Go and get your money. Go and get what you're paid. De Jong is not leaving Barca until his contract expires. Seems like him and his missus love the way of life at Barcelona. If I'm honest. Holy ish. I actually wanted us to get Mosquera. That kid is good as hell. Then how is Verts done early? No one is saying both striker and left winger should be done super early, but you can't tell me you can't get at least one done before pre-season. I agree. Needs to be done. But realistically, and I'm sure if I just done a quick Google search, and this ain't me praising the club because I'm with you, look, I want to wake up and we've got someone that's level with Verts and Cherky, or in our case, a striker. Definitely. But if they've announced Verts and moved at this pace, if I don't do a Google search, I'm sure at some point Verts will come out and tell you the initial talks with Liverpool probably started at the back end of last year, like the majority of these signings. There are obviously exceptions to the rule, like us, where you see him with Nørgaard. But the vast majority of these players being announced this summer, the groundwork has been done probably since last summer's window cut and in between. Just like us with Sesko, we're working for that for 2 years. Obviously, we're a unique club in that we are frustrated, but Zubimendi as well. So I do agree. We do need to get a move on, but we do need to calm down. But at the same time, brother, Arsenal, come on. This is going to be summed up by the attacking additions you bring in. But hey, exactly. Go have Konate. Konate, Hala Madrid, my friend. What happened to Isaac? Forget that. I love Isaac, but forget that. It's done, bro. Nørgaard isn't a bad signing as a squad player. Big up DG and Catch. Come on, big up Catch, man. Make sure you're subscribing to Catch's YouTube. I've got him and D at 4 p.m. where we're going to, we'll go over the part, what they think of the party and the mascara and the Kepa and Tab Police. We'll do that. And I'm still waiting on people, but I should be at 9 p.m. as well. Ornstein said something else. Oh, you're talking about that. Yeah, we've gone over that. If Zubimendi was in England, where's the pick by now? Something should have surfaced. No, probably, but boy, I'm confident we get Zubimendi. Like, I think it's done. I think Kepa's done. I actually think Nordgaard's done. But I want to be able to say Sesko's done, Gyökeres is done. I want attackers. You lot know me, love Martinelli, think people are a bit harsh to Trossard. Actually, don't really rate Kai like that, but I think that people are not really fair to Kai Havertz. I'm not saying he should be a key player. I'm not even saying he should have been brought at the club. I definitely am with you lot. Not that I care about wages, but with the wages and all the things and the fee and the knock-on effect, definitely not the most glamorous. But come on, man. In these roles that they're in right now, we're not going to get to where we need to. You, man, are squad and rotation options. From Martinelli, you can come on against tired legs. There are going to be games where you got whoever that we want in the front three, where it's not happening, and you might bring on Havertz and he scores a little header. We nick a point. Our problem is we're relying on you to score goals, and excluding Saka, he's our top goal scorer, which is testament to him and just tells you really and truly what we're doing is nonsense. Because I'm past that point. Like, obviously, I praise and critique players. It's our fault if we've got Kai Havertz up front, in which he's never been a clinical player, even though he scored a Champions League winning goal and he's falling over his own foot. We've seen it actually the last 2 years when we've gone out of the FA Cup. It's not just him. I hate scapegoats. When people think about West Ham and Aston Villa in the last 2 years, they do the same thing with certain players. Remember when we went out against Liverpool, where we were creating chances, not putting the ball in the back of the net? Everybody was doing that, but not, Kai's the focus of this. United, many other isms and schisms, but we weren't putting the ball in the back of the net. Kai Havertz, you've had 2 case studies. Must-win games. If you're relying on a man like that to score goals, it's an idiot thing. We've done that to ourselves. Arteta's done that to himself. And you're going to have to, I think Arteta likes Havertz anyways, but you're going to have to make it work. Because naturally, not that we're going to get Rodrigo, but if you go and grab Rodrigo, he's going to probably want big money anyways. But you're going to sit there and say, right, Jesus is on how much? Havertz is on how much? As somebody said earlier, if you're Saliba, Saka, these ones, he's on how much? And in the next periods, however long Kai's there, that I'm not even agreeing with it. But Thomas Partey, the same. Like, obviously, he's gone. Partey could sit there and say, I'm going to keep, age, injuries, all that. But Kai's on how much? If I was to say to you, look, who do you think is our top 5 most important players? There'll be some others. But generally, I imagine people would say Saka, Saliba, Gabriel Magalhaes, maybe a Lewis Skelly, a Timber, Declan Rice, so on and so forth. That's from a footballing point of view, right? The wages, that's not our top 5 most key players. So them man have shot themselves in the foot. Arteta, you shouldn't have been identifying Kai, in my opinion, anyways. If you could have got someone like Kai for 20 million, or if you could have got Kai for 20 odd million, might be looking at it differently. So I don't know what vision, you got it wrong. I don't know what vision you was looking at to bring Kai into the club. The 18 didn't work. You found you done a little thing with him up front. Edu fucked up. Chelsea couldn't believe their luck when they saw 65 million. What you mean? We're going to get 65 million back. It's only a 5 million loss on a man that scored us the Champions League winning goal. Cool. That was worth that 5 million. They probably couldn't. They probably were harassing Edu. That's where we're in issues, bro. They fucked up. No proper striker or left wing. It will be a Champions League race. Wonder what wage Kepa's getting while you're talking wages. Leao, for me, if and when Mikel's galaxy brain ideas don't work, I know Leao will still work because of his solo abilities. Rodrigo can turn into a Trossard out wide. We don't help the left much. I can't lie. I'd rather Rodrigo than Leao. If I had to bet money, I think there's more chance of getting Leao, because I'd imagine AC Milan are more open to getting excited around the cash, and I think Leao would be more enticed about moving to the Prem more than Rodrigo, because I think Rodrigo, he's still on the Real Madrid kind of thing. But unpopular opinion, I want Rodrigo to drift inside, and actually, I'm not gonna lie, unpopular opinion, I know he wants to play on the left. He can play in that 10. We know he's playing in that 10. DG, we all say the pressure is on Arteta, but realistically, what's the chance he gets sacked end of the season if we don't win anything again? Because right now, he's not moving like a man whose job is in danger. I think where you look at Arsenal, many people are not honest. I think there's a lack of nuance. I think everybody is blamed apart from Mikel Arteta, or Mikel Arteta is blamed for everything. I like you, Arteta. You as a manager, I like what you've done so far. Not everything in terms of, I'll get onto that, but I like what you've done. I actually, and this is just me isolating Mikel Arteta. I think you've shown big bollocks to take this job. I think you've weathered certain storms. I think, you know, you've got us to this point where we're second and we're a competitive team. I like what you do tactically. I like what you've done around developing some players. You speak with conviction. I do think you've got a big future in the game. Where my issue is now, I only care about you fulfilling your managerial potential if you do at Arsenal Football Club. And yeah, back to back, like people say, oh, look, you got us from 8th. Great stuff. Big up you for getting us from 8th. It's now with now mode. We've accelerated in 2022-23, going into that season. We know we fought for the title, right? We probably didn't expect that. It was still stabilizing ourselves, top 4, all of this kind of stuff. We've accelerated the club. We've accelerated into that spot now. Cronkies don't give a fuck. You knew Champions League was in January was a shoe on. We at a point we drew ourselves into a race, but you knew we was in that weird space where we're not catching Liverpool. We're probably better than the ones below us. We're getting that. So you lot have told me everything, which is why I say I feel sorry for the players, because Arteta needs to learn from his mistakes and learn from them quickly. Where I don't think he's learned from is because he's in bed with the Cronkies. You're on 15 mil a year. You're getting them Champions League football. For a new manager or a relatively newish manager where you've got 5 or so years of learning on the job, in which hindsight, the FA Cup probably bust you as well. You're a lot of luxuries, you know. We're still to this day saying Arteta pushed for Nørgaard. Arteta wanted Kai. Again, you can't keep... The fees we're putting in is issues. David Raya, the Athletic, and all these think pieces of the club, where, let's be honest, man are filtering things to them. There was internal concerns about bringing in a David Raya because we had Ramsdale, who was, you know, doing his thing at the moment. Now, we all know that worked, but Arteta pushed for that. There was concerns about bringing in Mikel Moreno. Arteta pushed for that. What happened? Calafiori. I was cool with a left back, but I understand the rhetoric. Why are we signing left backs when we need a striker and a winger and all these things last summer? You push for that. So you're getting full autonomy. You're winning all the player battles. You are getting these young, impressionable players, you know, because we saw with Aubameyang, you're winning that race. Not everybody won them fights there. Emre didn't. You're getting a lot. You're on 15 mil a year. And it's about win now mode. If you can't get over the line, at some point, we're going to need to change stuff. We can't always just persist and find excuses. And this is why I think everyone's to blame. For me, if anyone connected to Arsenal, like officially connected to Arsenal, it's the players that I feel sorry for. I can criticize Kai. I can criticize Odegaard. I can criticize all these players. People like Odegaard, your form was shit. You're carrying an ankle injury. 1,000,000% you're going to see a better Odegaard. You can't pull you out the team. You're playing yourself through the ground. All them hamstring injuries. Players are playing themselves to the ground, into the ground. Players are rushing back from injuries. Players are playing with injuries. Young Lewis Skelly is stepping up. People that I didn't rate in Kivio are stepping up. We've ran this club, this squad into the ground. It needs injection. Did Declan Rice not come out and say, oh, yeah, I hope we sign players. Tini's playing left wing. And I do think Arteta has been harshly done by the board, but you fucked up the piece. It wouldn't break. I don't think it's necessarily wrong if they say, bro, you spent a bit. You're going to have to make do. Or if they've given you, rightly or wrongly, if they gave you a limited budget in the summer last year, you have to hold bringing in Mikel Moreno. You have to hold bringing in Calafiori. Nobody stays at this club or was brought into this club unless you thingy. Obviously, Edu messing up. And in hindsight, naturally, the vast majority of this team has been here longer than 3 years, and the people above board, it seems like there was quote-unquote trouble in paradise. Obviously, Edu was scheming on a higher ranking position. It weren't happening here. Jason Ito, it weren't happening here. He's cut. Mikel Arteta, it's like they're making him do the Wenger stuff, but you ain't got the Wenger credibility. This is where I need you and Berta on a level playing field. Because if I'm not saying Berta's perfect, but if there's them, you want them Kai Havertz signings again, Berta's not putting man on 265 grand a week and all that foolishness. You need to get over the line now, Arteta. You have said we need to win trophies. You have said on the last day of last season or the season before, we want to get over the line. You have to hold that. You have got us back into these conversations. I don't want to hear we're the best team in the Champions League when PSG are celebrating on the pitch. Dead. It's over the line mode. So big you up. That's what I think is the honest truth. You've done a lot wrong. You've done a lot good. When it's all said and done, we're in this halfway house now. And what did I say last summer? Some of you lot were there. Not that I am no fortune teller. I said we're either going to go up the gears this season, which was this time last year, or we're going to regress. We've self-inflicted ourselves. I feel sorry for the fans. I feel sorry for the players. But I need you to do certain things this summer. But you've just walked in. I don't know how much you're able to make your own mark in one transfer window. Man, need to get it done. Cronkies are not going nowhere. Yes, I cannot be happy with how they're operating and that. They're not going anywhere. I can scream, I can shout, I can do whatever. Arteta's not going anywhere right now. There's going to be an element of pressure from day one, as we've been referring to earlier. I can't convincingly tell you if you see, like on the topic of last season, the one that's just gone, right? 2 semi-finals, second in the Premier League, and out on penalties. Obviously, I'm being a bit lazy with how I'm reviewing that, innit? If we fast forward to this time next year, right? So the 2025-26 season, and we assume, God forbid, it's all played out in that same way. I don't think you're getting sacked. I don't think they're sacking you, which we need to obviously go and get some thingies in as well, man. We need to go and get someone to replace Carlos Cuesta. I don't think they're going to rip up your 50 million a year deal, give you compensation and give other people compensation, then bring in another manager where he's reserved the right to build his own team and all of that. But at some point, we're going to have to try something different. Because I do think this season, in the fine margins, this is not really fair, but this is in sink or swim moments. I think we've shown inexperience. When we're in the Champions League and we're huffing and puffing in the second leg of a semi-finals and we're not scoring, well, we don't fucking have a competent striker. A lot of games, like there was a period where we're going into games where Newcastle away, we were crap, no excuses in the league, but players look out of steam. Indirectly, the best and the worst is because of how you built this team. You need to get over the line. So you have to be harsh. Too many people are loyal to hating the guy, glazing the guy and just sucking off anything he does and acting like he walks on water, then just loving the club. Everyone gets praise when it works. Everyone gets criticisms. There's no nuance in football discussions. Nuance. You know, I can't pronounce them thing there, but you get the point. Let's get excited. Yeah, no, my point is, no, you're being a bit disingenuous. I felt there was no in between. Obviously, as an Arsenal fan, if we cast your mind back to last summer, maybe I didn't articulate myself, but last summer, going into last season, based on what we did in the 2 previous years and a lot of the rumblings, if you notice, we're talking about the same things we've been talking about, but a lot of the rumblings, I felt we're at this stage where this is where we are. That's winning the league, innit? We're sniffing with it. We're flirting with it. We're in this halfway house where there's good and there's bad and there's ugly throughout the season. We're either going to shatter that glass ceiling or we're going to regress. There's no in between. And actually, I didn't name all possibilities because I didn't say we're going to stay there. But there you get it. It's media noise because balanced discussion don't sell. We're in a day and age of rage bait, bro. I have to say Arteta's the greatest, or I have to say he's fucking shit. And it's not just YouTubers who do that. The same media outlets that used to boy YouTubers and look down on them, obviously the streets are fucking with us normal people now. They're copying the same formats. And I'm not on this Arteta just learning for the sake of it. We knew about low blocks. I'm not saying I got all the answers, but you're paid to find these answers. Low blocks were in issues. Squad depth were in issues. Substitutions were in issues. These are things he has to learn. And you can learn them as much as you want, but I'm not on this learning for the sake of it, bro. Tatted Jins, appreciate you. Scroll back. We covered all the transfer kind of thing. Yeah, man said troll. All right, fair enough, you idiot. I agree. He's neither great or shit and so on. And there's no shame in if Arteta is the guy to get us to this format and the next man comes. I hope, naturally, every player I don't rate in this team, I hope I wake up and they're amazing. If Martinelli can actually get his head up and get some goals and assists, I might not want a left winger. If Jesus could stay fit and score goals, I might not want a striker. And you get where I'm going with that. Yeah, and I hope Arteta can get us over the line. Why would you not want that for anyone? But at some point, we're going to have to change things. You can't just roll with man for the sake of it, rightly or wrongly. If we use the exact evolution of the squad, there was a day and age, Zinchenko and Tierney, first names on the team sheet. We needed to go to another level. What happened there? Ramsdale, PFA, Team of the Year, Bear Awards, he's doing his thing. There was an opportunity to upgrade on Raya, which was an unpopular decision. That was there. And several other sub-examples in that regards. But we did it. We have to be cruel to be kind. So if we can use taking that, as Arteta, you need to get over the line. You need to. But too much people are in love with Arteta or in love with hating him, which hate and love is a thin line, then actually just being honest. But I've checked out. I don't know if you're going to get sacked if you don't win stuff. I don't think, better yet, you're going to get sacked if you don't win stuff, unless it's a complete mad thing. Cronkies are not going nowhere. We know this is a peculiar way. I don't think winning is everything at this football club. I think we like to win. So with all of that being said, love the club, ride the highs and lows, hope for the best. But football means so much. Football is life is hypocritical. Football means so much to me. Arsenal means so much to me. It ruins my day when we lose. It makes me amazed when we win. I sit here and waffle with you like all day. If I'm not doing that, I'm searching about Arsenal. I'm doing all those things. It means so much to me, but sound like a hypocrite. And this is the beautiful thing about life. It means so much. It also means so little because I can't control nothing. I know football is illogical in itself because we're following these lot all around for a year. But in life, if I could change this, then yeah, I could have some emotion around. I can waffle about this striker, that striker, this, that, and the other. I can't change nothing. We need another defender, man, to be fair. Arteta won't get sacked regardless of what he does. And again, let's cut the crap. Let's not. And another thing that pees me off is people act like Arteta is a damsel in distress. Let's not act like he saved us from a fire and burnt a building. You've come here, grid up. This is a fucking massive club. Fucking massive club. Fucking great job. Pardon my French. For a new manager as well. You done your thing. You got us back in conversations. You got us wherever. But you didn't save us. It's a relationship of interest. You're getting to learn at Arsenal. You've gone from being a head coach to a manager. You've been involved in things above board. You're having conversations in the Berta thing. You're winning. Anytime there's a disagreement over a player, you're winning that. You're getting new deals. And a lot, like, people can say what they want. There's a lot to fucking love about us tactically. We get more plaudits from Europe. Yeah, we're not getting over the line, but we're a bloody good team. We're difficult to play against. We're not them little joke men anymore. But you're not doing us a favor. This is also enhancing your career, and you know this. You're a calculated man. When we went in and got Emre, did we not try and get Arteta the year before? This is why I can like Arteta. I can not like you at times. You're not doing us a favor, bro. Everyone's in a position of self-interest. We've seen that with Jason Ito. We're seeing that with the owners. Obviously, Berta as well. We're seeing it with everyone. Which, going back, only feel sorry for the players and the fans. Genuinely. Because the first 2 years, like, forget this year that's coming, yeah, but let's just pretend that this season's the one 2025-26 is irrelevant for now, right? I think, the years where we were just focusing on top four, Ramsdale was here. Whenever we bought Tomiyasu and Ben White and all of them and the project thing, cool, they bought into it. The next year, Saliba's come back in, Saka, all of these lot are young, impressionable players. They want to develop. Cool, we didn't get over the line. The next year, which was the year we just missed out on the last day of the season of the Premier League, you brought in Rice, gassing him, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, gassing up the other players. Okay, we didn't expect to be in a title challenge. Everyone thinks we're going to fall away. Let's go again type thing, innit? Let's go again. We went again. We fell short. All right, we're going into next summer. You know what you need to do. All the things that we need addressed this summer, that was the mentality last year. We didn't do it. Now you start to see how, yes, we finished second. And yes, there's injuries and whatnot. But the depth, the flexibility and tactics, the dropping points from winning positions, the no silverware. January, if I was a player, like I said, keyword, focus on the names I'm saying because they've all bought into the project. What the hell are they saying in January? Oh, we're not signing no one. Maybe even Arteta could be afforded to that to a slight degree because he does the diplomatic thing. But maybe, even the most spoiled kid, like respectfully to Arteta, Josh and Ed, you're like the favored golden child, and Stan Kroenke and them and are your daddies. They've been giving you peas, buying you whatever you want. This is the one time they said no. So I might be able to feel sorry for you. But the players have got to be looking around like, bro, what's going on? And I'm not saying they're not going to sign deals or whatever, but this has to be the time where the bubble pops and we're not seeing it positively. We're not seeing it negatively. We're seeing the positives and the negatives. We're seeing what we're good at, what we're shit at. Take the good and make it great. Take the shit areas and improve them. We need to see what is. And there's a lot that we're in the halfway house. There's a good foundation. There's good stuff. But if we don't address what needs to be addressed and go to the next level, we're going to keep being here, which is why for me, you lot do your thing in it. Thank you for listening to my TED talk. Hey, stop posting links, DG2. That's not our channel. Or people I know, man. Loud that. We need Saliba to sign this summer, but from a fan point of view, cool. If I'm Saka and Saliba, if they ain't signed already, bro, every time that ticks, my position is getting strengthened. All eyes on Berta. I hear that, and it's true, but at the same time, obviously, Berta knows the job. You walked into it, but at the same time, how much can you change? I need to know Arteta and Berta are two golden boys in the Cronkies kind of thing. Because let's be honest, Edu was incompetent, but there was times Edu was overshadowed by Arteta when Arteta was pushing for stuff. He didn't want to have us. Listen, I got more time for Arteta than Edu, but let's be real. It needs to be on a level playing field. The man joined in March. Zubamendi clearly wrapped up. Half of these things are done. Personally, I just think what Berta can do is pivot. If you can't get Gyokeres or Sesko, go get someone else. And don't get Zang for players. Be able to pivot. Get us some outgoings in. Obviously, the new deals, I think I'm not saying this is in the summer. We can say, oh, we got some done good business, but Arteta, everyone done whatever. But I don't think this is the Berta kind of summer. One man can't change everything. He could have all the grand ideas, want all the players. If he sat in that office and he's saying one thing, 10 other man in that consultancy meeting, us on a joke thing, is dead then. We lost the title because of injuries. Berta wants to cover those holes. He played a part. Berta needs depth. Arteta wants depth because he said it bare times. But then people were sold. And I genuinely think last summer, there was, as much as we were thinking, address areas and do certain things, clearly we messed up. You messed around. You messed around. You got Neto and Sterling. The little budget that was limited, you bought floor raisers in Calafiori and Marino. I think there was an emphasis from the Cronkies of, we've given you a lot of quid to spend and we need to get some money in, which is why, from a depth point of view, purely from better yet a footballing point of view, maybe it made sense to. It sounds mad, but it might have made sense to not loan out Fabio Vieira or sell Nketiah and Smith Rowe. Yes, these guys are not game changers per se, but you get the point. I think from a money balance sheet point of view, there's probably an emphasis to make some bread. But you want to tell us the powder's dry, no PSR issues. You've been telling us for years we're doing this and that. I would love to wake up and we're like Real Madrid. We got Galacticos. We signed Kaká and Ronaldo and all of that. Exaggeration, but you get the point. I'm just asking for some competencies. You know you need a striker. Go and get that. You know you need a left winger. Go and get that. You know you need more bodies. Go and get that. And on top of everything, and I keep saying, I'm going to keep saying it, as much as we're in transfer time now and transfers are a key part, Arteta, you've got to evolve now as a manager. The last 2 seasons prior, you've had to adapt via necessity because man have been injured. You need to evolve now, because yes, when you got stability and you're a good team, you are going to have a distinctive brand of playing. But we need to reinvent ourselves. Teams know, focus a bit on defensive set pieces, double up, triple up, quadruple up against Saka, low blocks. Let's remain rigid. We're in issues. Arteta people know you now. They know you're not going to change things. They know you're going to make 85th minute subs. Become unpredictable. Read the 48 laws of power or something, man. At this point, give me a trophy. I want the big ears or the Prem, but you get the point, man. Berta's on fraud watch. Berta's on fraud watch. How is Berta addressing squad depth when 2 DMs are leaving and 2 are coming in? Because he's clearly given Partey an ultimatum. He's moving iffy, safe. Brought in 2 midfielders, getting the keeper. Probably is, to be fair, but it remains to be seen. There's no more patience. This club has become beyond pathetic. The board is pathetic. The owners are pathetic. And our manager is looking like a madman. Berta madness. This guy sniffs out deals and goes for the hunt. I can't believe, man, they're saying Berta is on fraud watch. Already. Berta's hand can't be held to the fire already, while Arteta is getting a bligh after bligh for his failure in the past few years. Pep said he got to trim his squad. Then City went on a spending spree. Actions louder than words. Because City want to win stuff. Respectfully, City was a little man club. Danny Mills. They came in. We want to do this thing. Look what happened. Certain man didn't buy Arsenal to win trophy. They'd like to win trophy. They're not dying to win silverware. DJ's right. You can't have only one gal. You need depth. I don't crazy. Me, galley listening, loyal to the soil. Yeah, man. I'm not on what he's on. Throw me under no bus. Stop paying average players high wages because that affects us getting elite players. And Miles Lewis-Skelly, it is good news. Let's start with Magalhaes, but big them up. Striker. How much people are in love with there's bare people that just want asked. Do you know what's the problem with football? People can't say I don't know, I got it wrong, or nuance. But it's never gonna change, bro. It's never gonna change. It's Rodrigo or bust for me still. I hear that SP, but it's not quite for me because I'm pessimistic on it. Go by all means, chase him, do what you can. But at some point, I'm just exaggerating a bit. I don't know. August the 1st. Okay, we're not getting the signals we need from either Real Madrid, Rodrigo, or his advisors. I'm not saying I'll be happy, but pivot, whoever that is, because we're linked with Anthony Gordon half the time. You know you're not grabbing him from Newcastle unless you put down the racks. Rodrigo, we hope. You're going to have to be prepared to pay a big fee and put him on big wages, all providing he wants to leave Real Madrid. I don't know really for the credibility on the Leao thing, but you've got to go and find these players, man. You know what you need to do. These are things we've known. But even going back to the 2022-23 season, you tried to buy unknown Mudryk when Martinelli was having a great season. We've known we need a striker for time, left winger for time, breaking down low blocks for time. If nothing changes, nothing fucking changes. And I know it's easy for me to sit here on YouTube chatting shit. But at the end of the day, everybody's where they are in life for a reason. You lot know more than us. That's why man are getting paid 15 million a year. That's why man have been at Atletico for X amount of time. Make it happen, innit? Stop coming out with buzzwords and chatting shit to us now. Please, just make it happen. Just make it happen. I'm not even saying we'll necessarily get over the line. But if you have the summer we need, all right, at least I can say, cool, you did your thing. Kepa, Mosquera, Zubamendi, Nørgaard, Sesko, insert mid-level winger. Rate the window, DG. Define rating. Because ratings are subjective. I'm not even in the mood to do all of that PR crap. 5. You've addressed areas. I do think Zubamendi's a game changer. I am fond of Sesko, even though I want Gyokeres at this moment in time because we're now mode. Mid-level winger, fair enough. I've just been waffling about if you can't go and get them A-list targets, be able to pivot. You've addressed the areas, innit? And I hope it all plays out. But apart from Zubamendi, I don't see any level raise. There's nothing to gas me. When I take off the analytical cap and all of that, there's nothing to gas me as a fan. Like, oh my God, we're ready now. 4 out of 10, madness. Where's the 10 links? We're not getting 10. If Liverpool linked to Gyokeres, that shows he's the better option. I'm pretty sure City would have signed Gyokeres if Haaland wasn't there. No, there's just miserable people that just want to complain. Even if we had a 10-10 window, man would still complain. Yeah, 1,000,000%. That's like me. I love, listen, if there's reason, and this is what I try and preach on this platform. This is our platform. You lot are family, DG Nation. Big up you lot. Hopefully we get to 70K, yeah? We can, when it's, I don't know, we've won 38 games in a row. Let's be happy. Let's get excited. Once we get beyond that, let's see across those 38 games if there's things we can improve on. If things are shit and we've lost every 38 game period in the Premier League, we need to be vexed. But at some point, what I'm not on is just waffling positively for an hour or waffling negatively for an hour. Because at some point, all right, cool, we scream, we shout, insert derogatory words for Arteta like people do, and this one and that one. Okay, cool. You got out your system, the frustration. What now? What now? Shout as much as you want. What now? Like, seriously, what now? I know it sells and it's great and it gets clicks, but what now? Realistically, bearing in mind, no matter how much things we reason with, it's not going to change things. What now? Everyone can support the club in their own way, do what they want to do. Never been a fan of. I hate people that say, "Oh, you're not." Do you know how many comments I get? You're not an Arsenal fan. Okay, mate. Okay, fair play. I always say this. I can have my question marks around every player, around every player and that manager, and of course I do. But you get support from me. Support is not blindlessly backing and agreeing with everything and whatnot. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I can't see the angle, I can't see the angle. If I see the angle, I'm going to say it. But unfortunately, where emotions in life are concerned, football in itself is illogical. It's a very crude example, but there's men and women out there that would cheat on their wife. They wouldn't dare think of wearing another team's football shirt or supporting another club. It is where it is, man. It's like people forget they support this club. How many times have we been linked to top talent over the years and it hadn't happened until they're holding shirts? We have to wait. Facts. Fam, the pivot stink. I want Nico Williams as an alternative. He's not coming in. I hear you, but then if you just said it there, if Nico Williams ain't coming, if it's Rodrigo or bust, and it's bust in the sense that Rodrigo's not here, I'm not saying I won't be underwhelmed with the other names, but then logically, the club's got to do something because then you're going to be I'm not saying this at you necessarily, but then if the club don't sign a left winger because it's a bust thing, then people are going to get vexed. Rodrigo 1, Bacola 2, Leao 3, but at least one of the 3. How long is left in the window? At least wait to the end to start saying things. I don't want Madueke, man. Mikel said he will leave it to those upstairs, but we're still going for Arteta type of window signings. Now Berto will take a lot of stick to protect Mikel. We know what time it is. People, like, again, the other side of it, it's everyone's fault but Mikel Arteta's. And some people, even with Edu, even though it clearly wasn't the guy, you would think they're in the boardroom. Arteta said he wanted this and da. You weren't there, bro. Like, you weren't there. How do you know Edu wasn't saying sign X, Y, Z or sign Isak when you went for Jesus or don't buy Havertz or this and that? You weren't there. You wasn't there. The luxury with the manager is we see the press conferences. We obviously can critique if games have gone well. We're not seeing nothing else. It's jarring, man. It's jarring, but it is what it is. Yeah, but we keep finishing second with no depth. So how about get the bodies to survive the run and save 10 to 20% energy that helps the majority. Social, you've been rocking with the channel for a while. That's why you're a mod. Can't disagree. Rate my window. Kepa, Hato, Zubamendi, Nørgaard is at. There's no left winger. Because it is at 8. What's a 10-10 window? They can't do my 10-10 because I don't. 10 out of 10 for me is somewhat unrealistic because I would want an 8, a 10, regardless of what we've seen happen now. An 8, a 10. The players who need to renew deals, renewing deals. Rodrigo, whether it works or not, I can't lie, man. Just spend the peas now, man. I can't lie. I just want to see peas now. I just need paper. Show me paper. And either Gyökeres or Sesko. I'm a big fan of Sesko. I'll be more gassed with Gyökeres because it pivots away from what we've done as a football club. That would like that and a couple other things would be that. So I don't think we're ever going to touch that. Patience is key. Bro, I'll be patient. You can't see me losing my shit. But what I will do is praise and critique daily. I don't follow anything in my life blindly, you know. Support in anything. I can't follow anything blindly. So you die. Big up, Shane. Need to get you on the platform. I'm here with the mascara thing. It's not a game chat. I've got no problem. I don't rate Kepa, but cool. You need to plug a gap. You've plugged your gap. Mascara, we need a defender. The Howson thing, the Gerhi thing, the Viktor Gyökeres thing, it didn't bang. All right. Plug those gaps. All right. Who else am I missing? Nørgaard. All right. Cool. You needed a little backup. You brought that in. All right. You've addressed depth. You need to go and sell some players. Once again, and I'm probably a broken record. Do that. I need my striker. I need my left winger. You don't do that, I don't care about nothing else. I'm not even being disrespectful to players. And it's not, and again, I feel sorry for players. We're setting up, we're going to war with a blunt knife again. People got Mac 10s and snipers and all these things. We've got a blunt bread knife. It's not making sense. It is not making sense. And everything that we need in this window, and have been waffling about for 1 hour or so, just over an hour. Big up you lot, by the way. We knew last summer, none of the things are issues. Semenyo, an Arsenal fan, I think him and Eze, I think they're going to go Spurs, bro. Sesko, Gyökeres, Leao, Rodrigo, Zubamendi, Nørgaard, Kepa, and the backup defender is a 9 out of 10 window for me. Hear it, man. If nothing changes, nothing changes. 10 out of 10 realistic window. Rodrigo, is Rodrigo realistic? Rodrigo, Gyökeres, Zubamendi, Hato, Young Cam, Partey, re-signed, Nørgaard. Partey gone, my guy. I would like a 10. I can't see it. And I know we've got Wanyeri and that. I want him to play football. I just can't see us going for a 10. Maybe because I think if we bring in a 10, it's more going to be them 18, 19-year-olds. Bring you in for a couple pennies. You got scope to develop for a couple of pounds. You will get some level of football, but you're not immediately going to be in there. Personally, God forbid, if anything happens to Odegaard, I think you see Kai Havertz in that role. Purely because, and it's not what I grew up on, what a 10 is, but Havertz in that squad is probably the one that is going to be able to directly mimic what Odegaard does off the ball, right? Then you're going to, if something goes left there, you might see not a flat midfield three, but do you remember Bournemouth when we went, I think Partey, Marino, Rice, you might see him run that again, if that makes sense. We play United and Liverpool early. If one of them get Gyökeres or Isaac, unfortunately, beats us while we have Sesko Havertz up front, knowing this club, it will get ugly quick and you can't blame fans. At least wait until the end of the window to start complaining. Do you lot eat cake at the mixing stage or wait for the cake to be baked? Wait and see if the flour raises and mixture base looks good. Social joins, I'm with you with that. But you could say some Arsenal fans, through what we've been through, not those that are in the middle. Yeah, you know what? I can have frustrations, but cool. Last summer's pissed them off. At some point, they're sitting at the table. I'll wait for the cake to bake. Oh yeah, you gotta turn down the heat. You gotta put the sprinkling on. You gotta let it cool down. But where's the cake? Been waiting for time now. You told me it was gonna be ready at 7 on a Tuesday. On January the 1st. It's now December the 31st of the next year. But I'm going to be pissed off now because it's the club coming out and saying things. You know, I only speak for the logical fans. It's the club coming out and saying things. You lot are saying you want to win trophies. You lot are saying you're not happy. You lot are saying goosebumps in the summer. So I can understand it. Obviously, I'm not saying lose your shit on the 26th of June, but I can only speak for myself, actually. I'm only looking at what you lot are saying. If you don't open your mouth, you're in issues. I'd rather you lot just come out and say what I actually think those above Mikel Arteta and the players, and actually Berta, believe top 4 cool. That's it. Top 4 cool. If you do anything beyond that, it's a bonus. Josh Kroenke, I think you care more than your dad, but you don't. You're not on what we need to be on. You're not on. None of you. You're not on it. All them accountants, none of you are on it. You're not on it. And I get it. You know, we can't just do reckless spending, but come on, man. You're boying it now, bro. The problem is we've been waiting like this for years and years. You can't keep telling us to wait every year and then at the end, give us shit. At some point, give us a reason to wait. Exactly. And for me, not angry or sad. As I said, I'm just look at things for what they are. You know what you need. We know what we're lacking. We know what's good about us. We know what's negative about us. We know the evolutions that need to take place tactically and recruitment-wise. Show me, none it. I don't like to dream. I like to dream when I've got evidence. Show me. After the PSG game, Arteta said we'd have a big summer. Now we're moving like Burnley. Hey, it's not how you start, it's how you finish, isn't it? Usain Bolt used to start races shitly and then breeze, man. So we'll have to see. Does Gyökeres offer more than Mateta, for example? Just get a top striker. They're out there. I like Gyökeres, though, man. I did. Beyond the obvious, there's something about him. I'm a big fan of Sesko. But what I feel is I feel sorry for all the new signings. Because if Sesko signs, oh, my God, like, you picked him over Gyökeres. You need to deliver. Gyokeres, oh, yeah, everyone's the other guy. You got all this, you got all these goals. If you struggle, man, on you. No, it's been 5 years. I got a feeling he'll be gone by the end of the window. He's not good enough, in my opinion. End of the season. I can't say I see it, man. 22 million Partey 2-year contract. Nørgaard 19 million. We saved 3 mil DG. I don't know how to verify that, but I hear it, man. 250 likes is the target, people. Don't forget as well, on the topic of that, people, I'm going to be here with Catch and D in just under half an hour and then 9 p.m, man. I'm waiting on Aaron to reply, to be fair, but a couple people. Should reach out to some more people, actually. Arsenal make everyone sure. I'm not stressed no more. I know I speak with passion and I get a bit agitated. Of course, I love the club and I feel sorry for the fans and the players, but it is what it is, bro. Like, it is what it is. It is what it is. Show me. Give me a reason to... I'll always follow the team, support the team, love the team, hope for the best, but show me a reason to believe you. Look, show me a reason to have hope. Not that I don't have hope, but have hope. Every football fan, apart from Spurs fans, they're the pagans, but every football fan deserves hope. Whether you're fucking watching the Sunday League team or whatever, you need to believe. And it's all run out now. As I said, I'm not negative. I'm not positive. I don't want to be happy. I don't want to be sad. I just want to see things what they are. It is what it is, man. Gyokeres is tested and trusted. Champions League wise, international matches wise, goals after goals. And if it don't work, get a next one. And I know that's in theory not the way it works. But if Newcastle, if Isak didn't work, they'd have to buy another one. Darwin Núñez hasn't worked as expected for Liverpool. They're keeping it moving. No matter how much due diligence and whatnot, it's for every club, it's all essentially a gamble. But one thing's for sure, what we've currently been doing hasn't been getting us over the line. Is it not insanity if you keep doing the same things, hoping something changes? Yeah, I'm not with the fan of going nuts, but I do reserve the right to say, you know what, if you want to go nuts, innit. Do your thing. You're spending your money, or you're waking, whether you're a season ticket holder, abroad, whatever. How you support your team, you do that, innit? I ain't got no problem with that. You do that. Me, I'm not gonna. I know it's great and we probably get views, but I'm not. I'm not on it. DG, I've been watching you for a while, and I can see that you have a balanced mind. Outside of typical links we have, who would you sign? 5 signings. 5 is a difficult one. What's his name, man? There's a 19-year-old mixed race kid that plays for Norway. He's been in the under-19s championship. I think there's a serious upside to that. There's a German kid in the same competition, Elmana. I think there's a lot of upgrade there. With in line with Leon going down, that Thiago Almanda guy, he's worth a he's worth a chance. Malik Fofana. There's a couple at Monaco, to be fair. Half of their attackers, to be fair. So there's an opportunity. Big up Shirley. Hey, need to get you back on the platform. I can't lie. I did think of her when the Martinelli links. Everybody's on me for Martinelli, you know. I thought you was going to be on me as well. Everybody's on me for the Martinelli thing. How come you don't tell him? You know what? Martinelli shit, but that's my guy. I ain't perfect, people. We're hypocrites. I ain't gonna act holier than thou. I'm not gonna lie though. If 50 million Martinelli, even me, I might have to. Hey, what did you call me? Did you call me? Hello. I sell him, man. Fuck that DG, man. If you can get 50 million for Martinelli, sell him, bro. He's been shit for time, bro. We tried to buy Mudrik. Big up the chair. Yeah, chair's moving mad. That was not me. I don't want to sell Martinelli, but honestly, I think there's only two. There's players that need to go on. Every little helps in it. If we were to sell several players for minuscule fees, we'll be able to add that all together. And Bob's your uncle in it. But truthfully, I think there's only two players that I don't think people would cry if they left necessarily. Obviously, there's a knock-on effect with depth and that. But there's only two players I think could get decent P's. Kivio, which I don't want to sell, but if he says I want to cut. The only caveat is if you're an Italian club, you're going to try and do the cheap thing. You're going to do the loan with an option and all of that. But Kivio must have a market, especially because the market or the links haven't gone away from the couple of clubs in Spain and the couple in Italy. And with him doing well against Real Madrid, and it is Kivio only gets game time when there's injuries, but his stock's the highest because of the period of that. There's that. Oh, boy, I don't buy the Bayern Munich Martinelli links. I definitely didn't buy the Barcelona links. But a part of me does feel Martinelli needs to leave to thrive. You need to be at a team where it's a directing and whatnot. And I don't buy the Bayern Munich links because they're not only they clearly want to find wingers, primarily because there's been speculation around Gnabry. Sane, he's going Galatasaray, and there's a next one there. Sane, Kingsley Coleman, and all of that kind of stuff. They've got Elise, they need a next one. They tried to get Nico Williams, they didn't bang. They linked with Matoma, they linked with Diaz, they linked with Gakpo, they linked with Martinelli, they've been linked with Rashford, they've actually been linked with Eze. All of these guys can play on that left-hand side. So I don't really buy the Martinelli leaving thing. But Martinelli and Odegaard, two players I'm quite fond of. It's sink or swim, you're on big money. It's all fun and games talking about Kai, But you could argue Kai's done a lot more in the last 2 years than them, man. Don't get twisted, Kai will leave before them for me, but yeah. Martinelli got bored of Arteta. Martinelli's my guy. You're brainless, though. You're not calculated enough. Martinelli hasn't leveled up. He's on 180. That's too much for a backup. Get your money, man. This ain't one. Arteta is under contract until June 2027. Trust the process, guys. I'm sorry, but Kwanzaa being sold for more money than Arsenal have ever sold for is mad, bro. Everybody's hustling but us, man. Okay, you look at Karma perving over this guy. Flipping off. DG, be honest. What is there to be happy about Arsenal? We haven't won the EPL in over 20 years and we have never won the champs. What is there to be happy about? Fire, big up yourself, but I think you're just vexed because when you're vexed and everyone can get it. Because I think for what everyone's heard me say probably in the last 10 minutes, really, I hear it though. But really, we hold the cards, DG. Bro, play a good hand then, innit? I can't play blackjack or any of that, but I guess you gotta have a good hand. I can never play it. Always learn it for a games night and then forget it. Can play dominoes though. Can play snap. If you want to play snap, shout me. I'm the best at snap. DG, what is the bare minimum for Arteta to win next season? Define winning, because in life, a winner is someone that is, they've got a winner is someone that just gets up every time they've fallen in it. Trophies are not a guarantee in football. Our job is to, make the fans happy and hopefully celebrate a trophy away from the PR crap. For me, I think the only way you're going to just shut people up is the Premier League. Champions League, if we can do a thing. You got to the quarters, the semis. Would love to do that in it. I think right now, because obviously we've seen what Spurs done, Chelsea done, people sitting there and saying, if City ever fall off, Arsenal the ones to pounce on what Liverpool are doing. And then, especially with this year of the underdogs thing where you're seeing Crystal Palace win an FA Cup, them lot down the road finally win a trophy. But second in my lifetime, well, maybe not statistically, but second as I'm conscious to remember it. Everybody's on this trophy is a trophy thing. You could have won the FA Cup, you could have won the League Cup, which isn't wrong. But if we fast forward a year from now, I don't think Arsenal fans, I'm not going to, they'll be happy with the silverware because I think the players need to win shit now, if I'm honest with you. The players need to have that desire to win now. And that, not even the desire, that feeling of winning. Everything around is, even down to the fucking dog, everything is around winning. And I like all that madman stuff Arteta is doing with the light bulb and all of that. I know people run bands. Every manager is doing that. Anyone that understands football at deeper level, you've got to do all of that. Everything's been geared towards winning, apart from actually winning. So you need to win a trophy. But let's be real. If you don't win the Prem, the Champs, you rock up with the League or the FA Cup, maybe a double could save you. Fans are going to say that's not enough. You need another dog called draw. or second, really. It don't matter. Arteta will win a cup. Dudes will still complain. These guys are a joke. But DG, thoughts on the kits for next season? To be honest with you, I can't remember what the second and third kits look like. The first kit or the home kit, it looks nice. I'll say if we get Rodrigo, I'm investing in Martinelli stocks heavy. Bench, man. Martin, imagine bringing like sometimes you got to use players how they're supposed to be used. Imagine we're in a tough game. Rodrigo's been stressing out the right back. It's close. Last 20 minutes, half an hour. Bro, Martinelli, fresh legs. Go do your brainless stuff. There's games for when it's the end-to-end game, that's Martinelli's bag. When it's what we face with oppositions with no space, Martinelli's going to struggle anyways. And I don't feel that left-hand side, that left winger, you're just filling a spot. The freedom and the smart stuff from Arteta is with Declan Rice running behind and doing all of that. Lewis Skelly, whoever's inverted left back. It's a tough job. I'm personally past that point with Martinelli that he needs this and that to thrive. I'm not saying it's wrong, but brother, come on. Fans are a bit upset because we haven't addressed the priority positions, which is the attack, not because of Nørgaard or Kepa are such bad players. We are moving backwards in the market thoughts. I wouldn't say we're moving backwards yet because, again, the market's not closed, but I do think you're right with that. And some fans that are foaming at the mouth, they're not able to articulate that. But I can't blame fans for not having patience, bro. I would sell Kivio, Zini, Trossard, Tomiyasu. You can't sell a broken iPhone. Martinelli, we always wait that 1 extra year and then we leave on a free for pennies. But you're going to have to replace them. I don't think you're seeing 10 leave and 10 come in. Would you start Nørgaard over Zubamendi? I don't think Hato is happening. The little man cups buy time. And that's Arteta. If it goes left and you do get sacked, ironically, in hindsight, that FA Cup probably bought you a bit more time. If you was picking up a league and an FA Cup along the way, there would still be these questions, but at least they could say, all right, you've proven you could get it. Let's be honest, he shanked a lot of the cups and the FA Cups, he shanked it. Fair enough, you've had Liverpool and United in the last few years, but you shanked it. League Cup, got to a semi-final, moving like pussy holes. Beyond that, we've not been doing what needs to be done. We haven't. Of course they'll complain. Let's be real though. Wenger was hounded and killed for many a thing that Arteta is praised for, which is why I don't consign to. I'm not talking about people that can articulate their opinions and they don't think Arteta is the guy they do. I'm not signing up to these cults, bro. I'm not signing up to this. He changed our lives. I keep telling you, Arteta, the Cronkies as well. You lot have struck gold. Arteta, if everything fails. And do you know what the saddest thing is? I've been probably very critical on Arteta in the last 20 minutes. There's actually not a bigger fan of him away from Arsenal as a coach than myself. The problem is, I rate you, so I have to hold you to these standards. You can't be saying he's the best manager and he's innovative, and then we're doing little man stuff, and then there's questions over it. It's not making sense. I keep saying, if all else fails, Arteta, I'm telling you, Arteta, provided your wife is happy with it, forget that, because people might not even want to see your wife. If he does OnlyFans, he's getting clear, bro. There's so many people. And then the narrative, there's a lot of content creators and journalists, and they're allowed their opinions. They're peddling narratives because of they want to get these press passes and things like that. And you're allowed to do that. The game's the game. I'm not telling people how to, you know, I'm not telling people how to live their life or how to pay their things. But this is why I always say on my platform, I don't tell you what to think. Just think, you know. Just think. That's it. Just think. Just use upstairs. Cover for Saliba finally, yeah. Was it? No, it wasn't last year. It might have been the year before. I'm sure one of our centre halves got injured, and Mikel Arteta said, "Defo Declan Rice's first year," and he's like, "Yeah, Declan might have to play centre half." I was like, "Ooh, scary, very scary." We need some attacking depth now. That's what will get us excited. Nobody watched the whole 10-minute Nørgaard comp. We need quality as well, man. Bro, he needs that, fam. I'm telling you, there's people that love Arteta more than their wives. There's people that love the guy, and it could never be from a football team. It can't be from a football team. People hang on to things because it's the only thing that makes them feel alive. I'm not one for copium, but depending on how this window ends, especially if we sign a proper attacker, especially wingers and strikers, and keep Partey, there might be a method to the madness we're seeing. I don't think we're keeping Partey. I know he's been pictured doing his thing, but he's gone in it. Like, I can't see us having all them midfielders. You never know. Maybe Marino seen as a striker. I don't know, man. But on that note, I have no clue how we've been here for close to 2 hours, people. I am conscious of the time, though. Yeah, 20 minutes on going live again. maybe a 10-minute delay. So yeah, join me at 4:10. Obviously, I'm gonna have D and Catch and all of those guys, and we're gonna get thoughts in. And then I'm back at 9 p.m. as usual. Thank you for hitting the like button, subscribing, all the things that you lot do. Felt like a bit of a therapy session. Nothing's changed, but I feel a lot better about Arsenal, man. It's a family thing here, man. So yeah, big up you lot. Appreciate you lot. Smash the like button. One love in it. But if you need a couple signings, I know a free agent still.
Yeah, against this right back, Charlie.